How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the marching times.
Hey, man, I be telling people, man, they not ready for TD's troll game. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. Hey, shout out to TD, man, for the off-rip ducats. TD said, I see you trying to rush a live. TD said you trying to rush a live, piggybacking off my Karen Bass video that I just dropped. That's why I don't F with you no more. It's up. Hey, they not from the Midwest, bro. They don't know about this up. Well, we about to squab. We about to squabble. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. Shout out to y'all, man. What's good with everybody, man? It's good to see each and every one of you. Welcome back to Undocumented for another live stream. If you guys can hear me and everything looks and sounds good, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me and things look and sound bad, give me a thumbs down or angry face. Shout out to TD, man. Well, we got TD in here, man. We got to put TD on blast a little bit, man, because she keep flirting with this idea he don't mess with me no more, right? Now, look, we got to talk about TD's mans. Shout out to my man Carlton Way. We had a whole conversation about your boy. About your boy, Referral says that. Bitcoin is a scam. Yeah, Referral said that. Referral said that. Yeah, he over there with a bunch of people in the chat. Talk about Bitcoin as a scam. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's your mans. That's your mans. Who mans is that? That's your mans. Oh, yeah. Shout out to DD. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's your mans right there, bro. That's your mans. He said it's the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? He said it's the mark of the beast. No liberation through crypto. That's what your boy over there saying. He over there preaching that gospel, homie. He over there preaching that gospel, hammy. Shout out to Carlton. Yeah, we over here snitching, bro. That's what we do. He said it's the scam of all scams. Listen, it's this undocumented migrant. Not an undocumented migrant. One of them people that attacked the ICE facility, right? I guess it was 13 of them or something like that. Is one of them still on the loose? They offering $35,000 to capture this dude. That's 30% of a Bitcoin that they offering, basically, right? 30% of a Bitcoin to capture that dude. So we're gonna capture that dude. We're gonna find him. We're gonna let it rain, then we're gonna air him out. You know, and then we're gonna take that 30% and buy the tops on Bitcoin when it go back up to 130, when it go to 130,000. We gotta wait for it to go to 130,000 though. Then we going all in on everything, long positions. Shout out to TD. TD said protect Referral, said that at all costs. Hey, he ain't getting a Satoshi out of me. I don't know what these fools can't see, but they ain't getting a Satoshi out of me. I'm about to HOLD. They ain't getting no Satoshis out of me. I don't know what that old nigga trying to be, but he ain't getting no Satoshis out of me. Oh man, shout out to my man James Summer. Shout out to everybody in here, man. It's good to see y'all. Shout out to Leonard. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to AV. Yeah, we cheating and we gonna tell on you too. We gonna tell on you, man. Shout out to Anton Dotson. We gonna find you. We gonna find you. You can run and tell that. Oh man, that's hilarious. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says, I like some of Referral's perspectives, but I disagree with him on crypto. Yeah, when it comes to crypto, homeboy got a strange perspective. A lot of people got strange perspectives when it comes to crypto. A lot of people got strange perspectives. Just like Karen Bass, a strange Karen. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Right. Got the Bitcoin Queen doing the Satoshi twerk. Hey, but listen, yo, shout out to TD again, right? Because TD sent me this. Just make sure that you don't do the Satoshi twerk on a car like they was doing in Richmond Heights. You know what I'm saying? They was doing the Satoshi twerk on the car in Richmond Heights, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to Richmond Heights, Ohio. Psych. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at this real quick. TD probably already gone. You know, the boy got work to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Richmond Heights police use facial recognition to identify women twerking on top of a car. Twerking trouble, man. Twerking trouble. They wasn't twerking for no crypto neither. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they got going on over here.
Mr. Hero's birthday with the
Yeah, they was twerking on the car, but they wasn't twerking on the car for Satoshis. We could skip this ad in 7 seconds. So do me a favor. Beat up on that like button for the next 3 seconds. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got here. Skip. Look at this.
In Cleveland, a wild scene caught on camera.
Now this looks like she looked kind of hefty. She probably done dented the
All right, now back here at home in
she dented the hood in. For sure.
All right, now back here.
She for sure dented the hood in. Yeah, see, shout out to TD. TD was about to leave. TD ain't trying to make nobody great. Hey, TD ain't about to make nobody great.
At home in Cleveland, a wild scene caught on camera. Some people are in some twerking trouble after what you see in this video. The provocative.
Ain't this what they was doing to your boy King Randall School?
All right, now back.
Hey, listen, people are doing serial twerking out here causing property damage. They probably dented the hood into this car. You know what I'm saying? They done took the value of King. I was about to call him King Vaughn. He probably would get mad at me if I said that. King Randall School.
Here at home in Cleveland, a wild scene caught on camera. Some people are in some twerking trouble after what you see in this video. The provocative dance has been around for decades, but I bet I've probably never seen it done like this on the hood of a police vehicle with the officer inside. Our Harry Boomer has the
on the hood of a police vehicle with the officer inside. They did it on the police vehicle with the officer inside. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, I need her to turn around. AB Promotions said he'd want that camera unblurred. If y'all want that camera unblurred, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't, give me a thumbs down. If y'all want that camera unblurred, go over there to WOIO channel 19 and thumbs down this video and tell them the video didn't provide, quote unquote, enough information. Okay.
Exclusive video that you'll see only on 19. Harry.
Well, Nicole, here, you think about it, outside of this parking lot, the Richmond Heights Police Department patrols this parking lot outside of a hot spot to make sure nothing gets out of control. But they never expected to see what they saw.
Shout out to TD. And make sure you guys show TD some love. Show TD some love. TD said she did dent it too. In another video, they showed the dent. Let me ask you guys this question. How did they dent the vehicle? You know what I'm saying? Healthy. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, girls just want to have fun. What's the name of who made that song? What's her name? Cyndi Lauper? Cyndi Lauper.
Video is worth more than 1,000 words. Watch and you'll see exactly what I mean. This video was captured by a Richmond Heights police officer sitting in his vehicle back in June outside a popular hotspot in the Hilltop Plaza.
A group of females walked by the cruiser and then returned back around this way. One of them climbed up on the push bumper and began to dance on the push bumper. And then another 2 females came walking around the other way as well.
Of the police vehicle, man, of a police vehicle. Listen, let me ask you guys this question. Hey, shout out to Carlton. Hey, y'all already know. Throw them alerts in the chat. Hey, you don't feel that threatened by the police, do you? You don't feel that threatened by the police, do you? Let me ask y'all this question. Was she twerking for qualified immunity? Hey, was she twerking for qualified immunity? Shout out to TD. TD said, I heard Robb used to kick it at the Hilltop Plaza. Nah, I never really had too many interactions with Richmond Heights, other than they got a mall in Richmond Heights. They got the Richmond Mall. That's about it. I never that's not my side of town. I don't really know too much about over there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too much about over there. You know what I'm saying?
Climbed up on the side of the car. One was standing about right here, standing on and dancing on the hood.
Hey,
another
look.
one then climbed up on
Hey, she got them Conan the Barbarian boots on.
the hood, and then another
Hey.
one then climbed up on the
Hey, she got that Viking plush.
another one then climbed up on the wheel.
Y'all see that? What's up with these? What's up with people wearing the Viking plush? She got the Conan the Barbarian boots on. Conan, the twerker, bigger than you can see. She'll climb up on your hood and destroy your car in the parking lot at night, and you will be Conan, the destroyer. Conan. Look at her twerking. She will destroy your car in the parking lot. And then when she get caught, she'll say, it's not me. Conan. Hey, she got them Conan the Barbarian. She got them Conan the Barbarian boots on. Who remember the Berserker from WWF? Y'all remember the Berserker? If y'all remember the Berserker, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't remember the Berserker, give me a thumbs down. She got them Berserker boots on. Twerking trouble after dirty dance on the cruiser. It's probably footprints all on the cruiser.
And then onto the hood of the cruiser as well. There's a small dent and a little crease here.
Oh man, they put a dent in it. They put a dent in the cruiser, y'all. Let me again. How scared of the police are you if you're doing this? Is my question. Shout out to Leonard. Leonard says she a big girl too. Yeah, she a big girl. Girl, you on the hood about to back that thing up. You done dented the hood trying to back that thing up. She probably been in the hood backing that thing up. She done messed up the police car backing that thing up. After you back it up and drop, then what? Stop it because it's hot. Stop it because it's hot. Stop it because it's hot. Big bandit done landed on the hood of the police car. She standed. Big chick. Big thick chick. The police like you under arrest, bitch. Oh, man.
You can see that we didn't decide to fix that at this point in time. And then there was a pretty significant scratch that was about probably from here to here.
Oh, yeah.
You were able to somehow identify.
Oh, yeah. They watched this footage a bunch of times. Shout out to Tedra. Tedra said he let them go on to give every detail of what they did. He must have enjoyed the show. How many of y'all think that the cop enjoyed the show? If y'all think that the cop enjoyed the show, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't, give me a thumbs down. Now, here go my thing, right? Let's say, for instance, I was a police officer. Let's say, for instance, I saw somebody walking down the street, you know what I'm saying, involved in some illicit activity. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Hey. I got to do my job. You know what I'm saying? But hey. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey. Oh, man, Leonard said she pooted. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Leonard said she pooted. You know what I'm saying?
At least one or two of the people who were doing this. How'd you do that?
Correct.
With the help of the Northeast Ohio Regional Fusion Center, they were able to identify the women using facial recognition software.
Man, they identified them using facial recognition software. What I tell you all about ShotSpotter and AI, artificial intelligence. What did I tell you about it? I didn't tell you that it's the mark of the beast. I told you invest in this because this is going to be the future. Shout out to T. Yeah, she pooed it, bro. Oh man, she pooed it. Look at that, man. They all up on the hood. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all. Listen, Richmond Heights is not even the hood. That's the suburbs. That's not the hood. The most unhood people. You know what I'm saying? The most unhood people live in Richmond Heights. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tedra. Tedra said, "You are so old school by saying poot it." Hey, Black American. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Black American. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TD. TD said, "I ain't heard poot it in decades." Hey, that's grandparent talk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's grandparent talk. You know what I'm saying?
Called Clearview AI.
They also
Hey,
do a little bit further investigation.
Shout out to Carlton. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to AB Promotions. Clearview AI. It's time to invest in that company. If you guys would agree, it's time to go all in on Clearview AI. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. These was the first test subjects that show that this thing worked. It's time to get pizzade. It's time to get pizzade. Thank you for being a human resource to our investment. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Into social media accounts and other databases like that to try and further confirm.
Shout out to DeAndre. What's good with it, bro?
Remember, everything that gets put on social media is out there forever.
Shout out to TD. TD said, "Poot it." You know what I'm saying? That girl was twerking that thing and she poot it. You know what I'm saying?
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the marching times.
Oh, man. Listen, hey, for real though, wait, we got to talk about the police. We got to talk about the police, right? Didn't nobody feel afraid of the police? Let me ask y'all this. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. How many of you all would go up to a police vehicle, violate it, vandalize it, get on top of it, start doing the goose wing with your ass? How many people would do that? If you all would do that, give me a thumbs up. If you would not do that, then give me a thumbs down. Somebody please throw a thumbs down in the chat for me, because I would not do this. I would not do this. You know what I'm saying? Now, here go what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. Some content creator is going to take this video and they're going to say, see, quote unquote, this quote unquote is why, quote unquote, we're fatigued. So again, right, not only are you being a human resource for the AI that we're about to invest in, but you are also being a human resource to content creators who make thousands of dollars a month and are made great by their audiences of people who like to sit around and catch people that look like these women in stupid situations and make a business making content off of it. And then people say, why they talking about like this? Why they talking about like this? Now, again, right, the guns and all that was inside of the police car, right? Nobody had any guns drawn on any of these women here. Here's my question, ladies and gentlemen. What forces made these women do this? Don't everybody answer all at once. Somebody let me know what forces made these women do this. That's my question. Let me know what y'all think. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media.
And maybe used against you in a court of law.
The three ladies in question, you know, 2 of you guys have been identified. There's warrants out for your arrest.
Hey, shout out to AB. AB said, I'm thoroughly enjoying the twerking. Bro, we know. You know what I'm saying? We know AB appreciates, quote unquote, a little bit more cushion. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Too bad. Too bad you wasn't on patrol over there that night. I be telling people, come down to Ohio, man. It's cool down here. You know what I'm saying? Come down to Ohio. It's cool down here.
You might as well come turn yourself in and get the ball rolling on your court case here.
Because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. You're going to get picked up at some point.
Detective Evan Wright says the lady.
Hey, who is that running across the parking lot, though? What's going on right there?
Detective Evan Wright says.
See that? I don't think that was part of the video. I don't think that was a part of the video. Now, here go my question. Should I go down there and do some investigation on this quote unquote hot spot and see how hot it actually is? Do a little bit of live stream from down there, you know what I'm saying? Interview some people in the parking lot. What's going on with this, man? What's up with this? What y'all think? If I should, give me a thumbs up. If I should not, then give me a thumbs down. They say that this is a hot spot. You know what I'm saying? It's not too many hot spots in Ohio because for the most part, C-19 put a lot of stuff out of business. So, I mean, you know, if it is a hot spot, you know, I need to investigate it. Do some investigative journalism, right?
The ladies have been charged with rioting and criminal damaging of a police vehicle. He said they can, for now, come in at a time of their choosing and bond out. And I say this as an old disc jockey. He used to play a song by the Staple Singers, Respect Yourself. And it says in part, respect yourself, because if you don't, ain't nobody gonna give a hoot about you. Respect yourself. Go listen to the song. I'm Harry Boomer, 19 years.
Harry Boomer tried to throw some little dingleberries of knowledge in there. Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Harry Boomer for trying to throw some unappreciated dingleberries of knowledge in there. Yeah, too late, bro. Too late. You know what I'm saying? You ain't saving nothing, but good luck with it. Now, we're about to talk about the United States National Socializing the Farmland. Let me ask you guys this question. How many people agree with United States of America National Socializing the Farmland? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Tedra. Tedra says somebody need to get their uncle. I'm not mad at him. I think what he was doing in his own little awkward way, he was trying to drop some little knowledge nuggets in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, come on, baby girl, come tell yourself in, baby girl. You just talking to the I don't know who's worse, the youth or the older generations. I honestly don't know who's worse. I'm gonna let y'all tell it. Who's worse, the new generation or the older generation? Together, it's just a complete hot, bubbling mess, right? But I don't know which one is worse. I have no idea which one is worse. I think the young generation might be worse. Now, let me ask y'all this. If the young women who were involved in the quote-unquote criminal twerking, if they hear this plea of decency from Mr. Boomer, let me ask you guys this question. How are they going to respond to it is my question. What do you guys think? What will the responses be? Let me know what you guys think.
Ban foreign purchases of American farmland, particularly by Chinese nationals and other foreign adversaries, over national and food security threats. Here's the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. Watch.
Now, here's my question. How many people agree with this notion of getting rid of allowing China and quote-unquote adversaries to buy farmland? If you think that that's a good idea and that's good for the United States, give me a thumbs up. If you don't think that it's a good idea and you think that it's a bad idea and it somehow stifles commerce or something like that, then give me a thumbs down. And I want you guys to pay very close attention. Shout out to TD, right? See, we had the idiots twerking, right? This is what people are attracted to. As soon as the twerking was done and we start talking about business, look at the chat numbers, look at the chat numbers, look at the chat numbers. Now, we got to bring it back to Pharaoh said that. We got to ask some questions, right? Because this kind of relates. If, quote unquote, nobody ever told us about crypto or any of these new generation wealth building vehicles or any of these new generation technologies on how to build wealth, how do you know so much about it that you know that it's something bad and people shouldn't partake in it? That's my question. Help me out, y'all. Don't be shy. Let me know. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. We got 19 likes. We got 19 viewers. Throw 19 in the chat. We on the 1-to-1. Let's go.
The farm's produce is not just a commodity. It is a way of life that underpins America itself. And that's exactly why it is under threat from criminals, from political adversaries, and from hostile regimes that understand our way of life as a profound and existential threat to themselves. For them, agricultural lands and our farms, because they are a previous inheritance, are weapons to be turned against us. We see it again and again from Chinese.
Now, that's an interesting statement that she made, and I want to expand on that. I want to ask you guys some questions. She said that the farmlands are a quote-unquote previous inheritance. Can anybody in the comment section explain what that means? How many of you all inherited any farmland? Let me guess. It's not somebody's fault that your parents, quote-unquote, didn't invest in farmland like everyone else did, right? Somebody explain that. What's meant by that? Shout out to AB. AB said all this free twerking putting the wholesome go-go dancers out of business. Hey, what 50 say? She bouncing on the stick like a pogo. She bouncing up and down like a pogo.
Communist acquisition of American farmland, to criminal exploitation of our system of agriculture, to the theft of operational information required to work the land and beyond.
Fox News senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy asked the president for more details. Watch.
Your agriculture department also announced this week that they're going to start limiting Chinese ownership of American farmland. Why do you think that the Chinese have been buying up all this farmland in our country so close to military installations?
Now, that's a good question. And I want to keep this picture of Trump here. We're going to keep that right there because that's interesting, right? But I want you guys to ponder upon Peter Doocy's question. I think that's a good question. Why do you guys think that that's going on? Now, another thing that we got to touch on briefly, and I don't have any articles to substantiate any of this. This is just going to be a quote unquote open and ongoing conversation for right now. How many people have heard about this quote unquote MAGA Civil War over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files? If you guys have heard about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have not, give me a thumbs down. For the most part, Trump put a lot of people from Fox News into the White House, into the Capitol building, I should say, right? So I guess like Dan Bongino has some type of job. You know, Pete Hegseth is, doing whatever it is that he does, right? But I've heard that Dan Bongino has called for Pam Bondi to step down because of her quote unquote mishandling of the Epstein files. Anybody hear about that? Now, another thing that I'm curious about is Elon Musk, right? I guess Elon Musk is leading this quote unquote Epstein witch hunt, I guess you would say. Is that true? If that's true, give me a thumbs up. If that's not true, give me a thumbs down. Now, it's amazing how quickly people forget things, right? How many people remember the Epstein quote unquote little black book? If you guys remember the Epstein quote unquote little black book, give me a thumbs up. If you do not remember the Epstein quote unquote little black book, give me a thumbs down. Now, here's another thing that's interesting about this. Has anybody seen the picture of Elon Musk with Ghislane Maxwell? It's amazing how they just ignore certain things. Your man Elon Musk, that's leading the quote unquote re-Epsteinization of the media, literally has his own picture with Ghislane Maxwell. Rumors have it that Ghislane Maxwell possibly was involved with him meeting a wife or a baby mama of his. How were you that close with that woman that she was able to quote unquote hook you up with somebody? So what I find interesting is that there's this situation here, and this thing has become a quote unquote finger pointing contest of all involved parties, because most parties were involved in some way, shape, or form, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. So what I guess what is interesting to me, what I don't understand is what's the end game of this, I guess, conflict. Everybody's name is on the flight log. Everybody went to Little St. James, and everybody's in the pictures. So I don't know what is it that people are fighting about, I guess, is my question. I'm kind of confused. I don't know what the fight is about. I guess it was some files that are supposed to be released, but there's a ton of information available about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Ton of information. MAGA is going to QAnon Pizzagate themselves right out of the presidency. This is Pizzagate politics. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. I think it's interesting. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Let me know.
Well, I don't want to get into that. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. We're going to see, and I'm going to, they're going to be making a recommendation to me, but we have a very good relationship. As you know, they're paying a lot of tariffs to the United States now.
Officials are warning.
Are they? Well, how much was the last check for that China wrote to the United States? I mean, you know, the ones that weren't for buying up the farmland and buying up the water supply in New Hampshire. How much was the last check that China wrote to the United States for? Does anybody have the figures exactly? What bank was this check drafted on? Or, you know, was there a cryptocurrency exchange? Anybody got the to and from wallet information? Shout out to DJ Elmo. What's good with it? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, I haven't heard about QAnon in 50, 11 years. Yeah, a lot of those people, they still want those things done. You know what I'm saying? They still want those things. A lot of those people, they still want those things done. There's supposed to be some reptilian arrests and stuff like that that we haven't seen yet. So, you know, I mean, you know, there's that, right?
The department also announced this week that they are going to start limiting Chinese ownership of American farmland in our country, so close to military installations.
Well,
now, and again, I need to ask you guys a housekeeping question, and I need everybody's participation. I recently posted 2 short form videos. They were both clips. I plan on trying to post more clips and more just fresh short form content on all my channels. If you all liked those videos, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you did not like those videos and you have critiques, please also leave the video critiques. It's perfectly okay if you don't like a video. Just let me know. You know what I'm saying? You don't improve off of gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? You improve off of harsh critique and actually fixing the harsh critique. So you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't feeling your videos, Rob. You know, just you know what I'm saying? Just do the live streams and keep it pushing. Hey, that's cool too. Just let me know. Just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to get into that. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. We're going to see, and I'm going to, they're going to be making a recommendation to me, but we have a very good relationship. As you know, they're paying a lot of tariffs to the United States now.
Officials are warning Beijing is acquiring parts of our food supply. China already owns a seed company, Syngenta, and a food company, Smithfield Foods, which accounts for...
Now, I want to ask you guys this question. What are Chinese companies planning on doing, quote unquote, with American food supply and American food supply chain? What's the end game here? What's the goal? What do they plan on doing? Somebody let me know.
Roughly 1/8 of the world's pork supply. Joining me now is the woman herself, Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins. Secretary, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Just to be clear, how much farmland does China allow Americans to buy in their country?
Well, that's a great question. That would be zero, Maria. And if you think there is a map.
More questions, right? More questions. Why does America allow foreign entities? So again, this has to do with the undocumented issue because, again, it's America incentivizing foreign entities to set up shop here in the United States. No business borders is the same as no personal borders. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Why is it that China is set up where you cannot buy land there in China? Why is it set up like that? There's a bunch of different reasons, right? Different type of government, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a communist government, so the government is going to want to maintain more control, right? That makes sense. But what are the other reasons, though? Are there other reasons? Why is that like that?
Of this of China, where Americans have come in and bought hundreds of thousands of acres around their military bases, you would be sadly mistaken. So I appreciate your focus on this. I think it's really, really important. We had an incredible event, 4 cabinet secretaries, a White House counselor, 3 of our country's best governors who have really leaned in on this in the last few years, and some of our top leaders from the Hill for the first time aligning at the federal, state, and even local level on how we address this threat to our homeland.
Well, I mean, you can understand, given that China is an adversary, unleashing COVID, covering up COVID, unleashing fentanyl, not doing enough to stop the fentanyl flowing into the United States, not to mention all the other bad behavior that we're seeing from communist China. Why would we want the CCP to be in our food supply? How serious should we be taking the threat to our food supply?
Well, I think we have to take it very seriously. And, we've talked about the purchase of farmland. Almost 300,000 acres today is owned by our foreign adversaries, most of that by China. In 1980, it was only about 2,500 acres. We talked about Smithfield and Syngenta and some other of our major.
Yeah. Shout out to AB Promotions and shout out to Ronnie. AB Promotions says because they're gatekeeping culture and want to keep it homogeneous to themselves. Shout out to Ronnie. Ronnie says, because militarily, it wouldn't make sense to let your enemy buy food production in your territory. Facts. Expand on that. Why not? I agree, right? But why not? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen says they're preparing to usurp power from their from their fellow Caucasities. Yeah, facts. I wouldn't disagree. If you guys agree with Brooklyn Queen, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
American agriculture companies that are now owned by China. But we also haven't talked about agro-terrorism the last few weeks. Our Attorney General Pam Bondi has been really focusing a lot on that as well. You can disrupt our food supply with one tiny little bad seed that gets snuck in. The cartels and some of these foreign adversaries are in our government programs, using that to fund a lot of what they're doing. So we released a 7-point plan this week.
And again, why has this gotten this out of hand? Why has this been allowed? Let me ask you guys this question. Do intelligent people allow things like this? If intelligent people allow things like this, give me a thumbs up. If intelligent people do not allow things like this, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to the intelligent people in the chat. All right, we got 20 live viewers and we got 20 likes. We got the 1-to-1 popping off. Throw the number 20 in the chat. That's what's good. I appreciate y'all. Let's go.
Again, alongside many leaders in President Trump's government and across the country, to, for the first time, align to ensure that we understand the threat, that we're pushing back on it, and that we're protecting Americans and putting America first.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that 7-point plan and really zero in on what the U.S. can do on a federal level, because I know that certain...
Shout out to DJ Elmo. That's interesting. DJ Elmo says, this is misinformation. By their NES report, Bill Gates is the largest private farmland owner. Now, here goes the thing, right? Now we got to put into place, we got to ask the question, which one is misinformation, right? Is this misinformation? Or are they giving misinformation about Bill Gates to make it seem like America has more control over its property than they actually do? So, all we know, right, as of right now, at this current juncture, is that the math ain't mathing, right?
States have done their part. You look at a place like Arkansas, where the governor there, Sarah Sanders, said, no, you will not be allowed to own farmland here. And one of our viewers brought up the issue of the estate transfer tax for independent family farms, saying that if families don't have to sell their farm because they have to pay an enormous tax when they hand it down to generations, that could incentivize family farming generationally. What do you say about the tools that you've got access to on a federal level in terms of ensuring that an adversary is not controlling our food supply?
Well, I really appreciate you bringing that up in the big, beautiful bill. You know, this is, again.
Now, here's my question. This is my question for everybody, and I want everybody to answer this question honestly. What will China do to the American food supply that America already has not done to American citizens through the food supply? Yeah, shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo was on the exact same wavelength as me. DJ Elmo says, while I agree China owning American land is a security risk, glyphosate sprayed on American crops is a serious carcinogenic agent causing so many issues. Facts. Monsanto already got sued about that because they used that glyphosate as a additive in the chemical liquid Roundup, right? And from what I understand, it's been correlated to increased incidence of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And there's other things that are going on with the food supply as well, right?
And all of government approach. This is President Trump's.
Now, here's a interesting situation. Let's say, for instance, China buys farmland. Let's say, for instance, China starts their own supply chain with food here in America. What happens if Chinese food significantly improves the health of Americans? What is that going to do to American sentiment towards the United States government? That would be kind of an interesting twist. That would be something that they could do too, right? We all know that for the most part, when it comes to American food is hot slop, very low quality standards, mass produced, and very harmful, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. What would happen if China came in and said, hey, we got wonderful food that will extend the American lifespan for 20 years and decrease health insurance costs by 50%. And after about 10 years of production of this Chinese food, studies support that. How will that make Americans feel about American food production? Shout out to Mama Zeke. What's good with it? I think that showing Americans a better way, than what's already being done, that could be one of the most effective means of undermining America. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Vision that we are effectuating, but for the first time, 2 million family farms will not be subject to the death tax. And to your point, that's why a lot of these farms have had to sell over the last few decades to foreign adversaries because the families couldn't afford to keep them. So the bill itself, I know we're not talking about this morning, but it is a really important point that it is a new day for our family farms, especially our smaller family farms. They're going to be able to keep those farms for.
Now, shout out to Carlton. Shout out to Carlton. These family farms have been around in the United States prior to 2008, which means that in 2008, if these family farms wanted to independently stay functional, they could have started a Bitcoin strategic reserve, but they chose not to. So now in 2025, because they chose, quote unquote, strange investments, we're supposed to feel sorry for them because they're losing their farmland to China. Sounds like victim mentality to me. Blaming others for your problems. So China has enough money to buy the farms and you broke. And China's supplying you money so that you're not broke in exchange for your farm. Somebody show me how that's not fair to who is that not fair to? Who is that not fair to? Huh? You know what I'm saying? I guess you just got to compete. Compete, right? Come up with creative ways to compete. You're not a victim, right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. You're not a victim. Nobody told you to sell your farm, but you sold your farm. If you were really that patriotic, why would you sell your farm to a foreign adversary? if you ask me, I don't know, man. I don't know. These people that sold their farms, I don't know, man. They might be agents. Because who would actually sell their farm to foreign adversaries? I mean, you know, hey, listen. Hey, sometimes, right? Sometimes people bring up the argument and say, quote unquote, well, people like us, quote unquote, sold our own. How many times have you heard people say that? Okay, well, you people are selling your farmland to your enemies. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. But welcome to the club, I guess. I don't know what to say. What y'all got to say? Y'all got anything to say? Anybody got anything to say? Shout out to Dre D. I don't know what to say. I can call it. Right? The Chinese people got the suitcase and they waiting in the hotel lobby. If you're buying farmland, you're not getting robbed, B. If you can't sell it, homie, it can't be sold. Right? Tired of hearing these people pop smoke.
Fifth, sixth, seventh generations of their family because of what was in the big, beautiful bill. So I think that's a really important point. I appreciate you bringing that up, Maria. But as far as the federal government, Congress is already moving forward on the banning of farmland to be purchased by our foreign adversaries. But the reason I wanted the governors involved this week is the states are the guardians.
Yeah. Shout out to AB. They out here screaming, I'm broke. Right? They be whining because they ain't got no money. Right? Like, for real, right? I mean, like, think about it, right? I mean, I guess that's a grand slip up. Why would you sell your adversary's farmland? Who would do it? And if you did sell your adversary's farmland, why would you not sell a small amount of farmland that you make sure you have under strict and tight control? You would, I mean, the person with common sense wouldn't sell the entire damn country, would they? Somebody make it make sense. Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said, is American agriculture, like farming, subsidized by the government? If not, it may explain farmers selling up is not economically viable. Now, I would agree, right? If you guys agree with DJ Elmo, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Here's the only problem, right? Two problems. The first problem is that, yes, the American government absolutely subsidizes these farmers, right? The second problem is that all of these farmers could have self-subsidized by creating a Bitcoin strategic asset reserve in 2008, and it would be fine today, right? But it looks like on a large scale, Bitcoin's not affecting any farmers that are alive today. So now they broke. Shout out to AB. Now they sitting here screaming, I'm broke.
The gate. They can move much more quickly with much more intention than Congress ever could. So I think we have almost 20 states now. When Kristi Noem was governor of South Dakota, she, along with Sarah Sanders and some of our other great governors, they were leaning in on this and leading on this for the last several years. And actually,
I want to know about this. I need you guys to help me out with this, right? We have to put these things on the docket, right? She said that, quote unquote, this quote unquote farmland was a quote unquote inheritance, right? Who inherited farmland? Who inherited it? That's my question.
And the sale of that farmland in their states. But now it's time for the federal government to step up, step alongside. Under the Biden administration, not surprisingly, there was no effort on this. I was just added as of this week to the CFIUS committee, which for your viewers probably don't know what that is, but the Secretary of the Treasury stopped.
She got added to the syphilis committee. I don't know if I'll be bragging about that. Now a comment like that, oh yeah, that'll get that fatigue. That'll get that fatigue about these people, right? And get the fatigue out these people. Put the Z's in the chat. You fatigued? Get the fatigue up out of them.
Ever could. So I think we have almost 20 states now. When Kristi Noem was governor of South Dakota, she, along with Sarah Sanders and some of our other great governors, they were leaning in on this and leading leading on this for the last several years and actually banned the sale of that farmland in their states. But now it's time for the federal government to step up, step alongside. Under the Biden administration, not surprisingly, there was no effort on this. I was just added as of this week to the Syphilis committee.
She was just added this week to the syphilis committee. Those ninjas can't read. He listening at a 4th grade level. You fatigued?
Which for your viewers probably don't know what that is, but the Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, has a committee made up of cabinet members who have to approve the sale of a lot of this, either our big American companies or American farmland. The Ag Secretary has never been a part of that until just this week. So there are a lot of things we can do, looking at an executive order as well.
That's very good.
Shout out to shout out to Ron. Hey, shout out to Ronnie. Ronnie said a meth head that doesn't know how to farm inherited from grandpa and sold it. Hey, gotta feed the habit. Gotta feed the habit. Some people got to make money to eat. Some people got to make money to smoke, right? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said, Blacklight, I bet you the Amish community isn't selling their farmland. Yeah. You'd be probably right. Shout out to James. James said that's why they're losing their farms and the U.S. are not subsidizing their farms anymore. Bill Gates and company are buying the land to produce fake fruits and vegetables. Yeah. Now, and again, right, why was this not addressed before is the question. Or maybe it was addressed. I don't think it was, though. I don't think it was addressed. Now, here's my question. How do people plan on protecting themselves from the potential of hostile foods? Has anybody ever heard of quote unquote gene delivery or quote unquote RNA delivery through food sources? If you've heard of that, give me a thumbs up. If you have not, give me a thumbs down. Now, shout out to the YouTube manual reviewer who never actually reviews any content and they just strike you based on what the AI says, right? These things are technologies that are perfected and in use. How would someone be able to detect if these type of agents were implemented into the food supply? Now, let me ask you guys this question. Foreign entities are buying up all the farmland, right? They're buying it all up. Now, does anybody else see a coincidence that a lot of the migrants that come into the country are quote unquote agriculture workers? Did that not like raise a red flag to anybody?
Congratulations on that. Now, we know that there are some people who are working on these farms, family farms, industrial farms, whatever it is, who came into this country illegally, or as President Trump said to me the other day, incorrectly. The president is talking about the fact that what he's working on now is not an amnesty for illegal farm workers, but a program to exempt some workers from deportation, depending on what the farmers need. The president.
Now, here goes my question. If you're worried about foreign actors corrupting the food supply, why would you allow foreign actors to continue to cultivate the food on American farms? Like, that doesn't make any sense. If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make any sense, give me a thumbs down. That to me makes zero sense.
He told me about this first when I spoke with him a couple of weeks ago. Listen to this.
Recently, you said, let's ease up on, taking in people who are working, hardworking, like in farms and hotels.
I don't back away. What I do I cherish our farmers. And when we go into a farm and we take away people that have been working there for 15 and 20 years who are good, who possibly came in incorrectly. And what we're going to do is we're going to do something for farmers.
So I want you to pay very close attention. You see, he tried to tone down the sentiment in regards to this by, instead of calling them undocumented or quote unquote illegal, they came in incorrectly. Huh.
Is where we can let the farmer sort of be in charge. The farmer knows he's not going to hire a murderer. But you know, when you go into a farm and he's had somebody working with him for 9 years,
how do you know who you hired if these people are undocumented? He said they're not going to hire a murderer. You don't know that. When they get these people and they process them, they find out all kinds of information. Hey, make sure y'all throw a bunch of American flags in the chat. Shout out to TD. TD said, oh, now you want to question Trump? Never question Trump. In Trump, we trust. You know what I'm saying? Make sure TD on his grind. That's what you do. Hey, you protect your cash cow. That's what you're supposed to do. Make sure y'all throw some American flags in the chat for TD. You protect that cash cow, because when that cash cow die, you got to find milk from somewhere else. So you protect that cash cow. Not Pharaoh said that at all times. Right? Protect that cash cow at all times. Liquidate that cow and then use it for steak. You know what I'm saying?
is doing this kind of work, which is hard work to do. And a lot of people aren't going to do it. And you end up destroying a farmer because you took all the people away. It's a problem. You know, I'm on both sides of the thing. I'm the strongest immigration guy that there's ever been, but I'm also the strongest farmer guy that there's ever been.
You know, Secretary, I love how much this president loves our farmers. You just ordered the shutdown of live cattle, bison, and horse trade through the southern border after Mexico confirmed another case of New World screwworm affecting livestock. What can you tell us more about that?
Well, so this is another reason, right? Shout out to Alonda. What's good with it, Alonda? Oh, damn, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how this sounds. I don't know how to phrase this. I was about to say, quote unquote, Coctavius going in on you, but I think that's like unintentionally extra disrespectful. So I'm gonna just fall back on that one. I'm gonna just fall back on that one and let the comment section do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to yeah, I'm gonna just leave that one alone. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said 15 years on a farm working below minimum wage. Not to mention 15 years. You know how they say, listen, they're gonna make a remix of that movie. What was it called? 12 Years a Slave. It's gonna be a movie called 12 Years Illegal coming out pretty soon. 12 Years Illegal. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says Trump has a calm demeanor when talking about the farm workers. There you go, TD. Like that comment. Make sure you thumbs up that comment, TD. Shout out to Carlton. I'm about to griff right now. Had you sent it in the super chat, TD could have supported it with a thumbs up. See how you played yourself? Hey, see how you played yourself? Hey, don't play yourself no more, man. If y'all want TD to support y'all comments, they got to be super chat so you can hit the like button at the bottom of it. at the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to quote unquote Tavius. You know what I'm saying? Tavius said, "Nah, I can't hate on TD getting that Trump money. Hey, look, get it all and stack Satoshis. I'm not mad at it. Shout out to my man TD. 12 years illegal. I can't wait till the woke TD about to make a video about the woke remix 12 years illegal. You know what I'm saying? And this is what the Democrats do. Shout out to TD, man. That video coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said, listen, hey, who saw the Saint and Sinner flame Umar Johnson? We might have to do a reaction to that video. Man, because he pan-fried and seared Umar Johnson. He flipped it. You know what I'm saying? The pan had the grease popping out of it, threw it up in the air, caught it down there, threw it back on the stove, spun the handle around, pan-seared Umar Johnson. And I think that video is reaction worthy. You know what I'm saying? I think the video is reaction worthy. So y'all let me know if y'all trying to see that. I might have to figure that out at some point. How we going to budget some time for that one? DJ Elmo said, gene-edited foods, mRNA foods, will not be required to be labeled on packaging as RNA in places like UK and America. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. What do you all think the implications are of foreign hostile entities owning food manufacturing facilities with what DJ Elmo just said? Shout out to James. James said most Americans are going to lose their farmland. Big money about to take over, Rob. Hey, now here's my would they now we listen, no mercy, right? They can receive zero mercy. Let me ask you guys this question. Are they actually about to lose their farmland, or are they actually just giving their farmland away? You ask me, gotta say they just giving the farmland away. They just giving it to China. They're giving it to China. You know what I'm saying? They're giving it to China. How many people would agree that the economic issues that the United States has, it only has itself to blame because it sold itself into slavery? If you guys would agree, the United States sold itself into slavery, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Yes, and you're right. You can just hear it in his voice. And I was with him in the first term as domestic policy chief. And, you know, he had the same conversations then over the last 8 or 10 years. How do we protect our farmers? But last night, about 10 o'clock, we shut down the ports. No more imports from Mexico with live animals due to the New World screwworm, another threat to our homeland. We shut the border down earlier, about 2 months ago, and we were able to push the pest back, partnering with Mexico. But it started to trickle back up within about 500.
Now, I want you guys, if you guys see any articles about this quote unquote screwworm situation, make sure you guys send that to me. If you're not part of the Discord, take a moment, hit that link that's pinned in the chat, join the Discord. We're going to talk about that on C19 report because I hadn't heard about this screwworm thing. I think that's interesting. Yeah, shout out to TD. TD said Americans already lost their farmland, sold it on the cheap. Let me ask you guys this question. Are you supposed to sell assets or are you supposed to hold assets? Which one are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to sell at the bottom and buy at the top? Or are you supposed to buy at the top and hold to peak value? Which one are you supposed to do? Let me know what you guys think. Who else is out there like Michael Saylor? You guys waiting for Bitcoin to go to 140 so that you can buy it? Y'all just stacking money, letting it sit right now, waiting for the next all-time high so you can go all in on Bitcoin? Who doing that?
100 miles of our border. So we had to shut it down again and again. These inactions that were never taken by the Biden administration, we are now having to deal with. But listen, this president has been.
Hey, that's a great nickname. That's it. Hey, Tavius got to make a new account with this as the name. Pause. Tavius is hilarious. Hey, great, genius, excellent work, Leonard. Shout out to Leonard. You know what I'm saying? Excellent work. Hey, that's a great question. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, how do we protect our farmers? The same farmers who were on TikTok saying they were, quote unquote, ordered to destroy food, or was that fake news? Let me ask you guys this question. Does we was ordered to destroy the food? Does that sound eerily similar to we was tricked? Because we got to ask them farmers, who ordered you to destroy that food? Shout out to Alonda. Alonda said, I'm not out here like Michael Saylor. I'm out here like Arthur Hayes. Hey, I ain't mad at that. I think Arthur Hayes is buying the tops too. I think Arthur Hayes is buying the tops too. Arthur Hayes is definitely buying the tops. We forgot to ask the Arthur Hayes question. Them chicks on the car in Richmond Heights, Ohio, were they busting it open for Arthur Hayes? Those women who were on the hood of the car, were they busting it open for Arthur Hayes? Were they shaking for Satoshis? If they was busting it open for Arthur Hayes and shaking for Satoshis, give me a thumbs up. If they were not, give me a thumbs down.
Resolute on no amnesty, mass deportations, but there are programs currently within the government under Lori Chavez DeRimmer, our secretary.
Hey, hashtag BTTF, buying the top forever. Shout out to TD. TD said, I'm out here buying all-time highs. Listen, TD on his full Bitcoin Maximus bag, man. With the views, TD buying 1/10 of a Bitcoin at a time. He doing so good over there on that channel. He doing so good on that channel over there, y'all. He buying 1/10 of a Bitcoin at a time. Buying the tops, baby. Buying the tops. He buying for 250 at the end of the year. Hey. Oh, man. Shout out to James Sumler. James Sumler said it's been reported that black farm owners do a lot better than most farmers because they were denied subsidies and money and got it out of the dirt like always. Hey, shout out to them, right? That's what's good. If I was them, I would advise them to initiate a Bitcoin strategic reserve. You know what I'm saying? I got to listen. I'm about to start a blog series called How I Was Pushed into Bitcoin Maximalism, because I'm like right on the precipice. I'm right on the verge of becoming a Bitcoin maximus. And it's all Ethereum's fault. It's all XRP and Ethereum's fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm like right there. I'm close. Like I'm on the brink. I'm on the brink. I've already embraced villainy. I'm about to embrace Bitcoin maximalism. I'm about to wait till Bitcoin go to 150,000, and then I'm gonna flip all my coins into Bitcoin. It got to be at the top though. I can't no more buying the dip. That's out the window. I'm buying the tops forever. You know what I'm saying? Buying the dip. That's what broke people do. That's what poor people do. I'm setting the phone for all-time highs, and we buying all-time highs all the time. No more buying the dip. You know what I'm saying? Fiat is for poor people, and dip buying is for poor people. We buying the top all the time. All the time, buying the top.
Great Secretary of Labor, the H-2A visa program. I know they are working on that to work to effectuate the president's vision. But at the end of the day, moving toward, and we're not working.
They sitting up collecting Social Security, a lot of them. They collecting them SSI checks. When they go downtown to get reapproved for their check, they make the same face this lady making right now. Give me my check. Give me my parking pass. Let's go. My handicap sticker. You know what I'm saying? Get up and work if you're able-bodied. AI is going to take your job soon. You know what I'm saying?
We will get there, but this president, his heart is with the farmers. It always has been, and we will work nonstop until we find the right solution, but does not include amnesty and certainly moving toward the American workforce that he envisions.
Secretary, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. If you convert these people who, quote unquote, entered the country, quote unquote, incorrectly into Americans, do they then count as part of the, quote unquote, American workforce? That's my question. Hey, shout out to TD. TD said, I'm on my Modern Investor, disrespecting anybody buying meme coins. Hey, Modern Investor it should be the Modern Maximalist. He's an undercover, you know what I'm saying, Bitcoin Maximus. He's definitely an undercover Bitcoin Maximus. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely an undercover Bitcoin Maximus, man. He gets real agitated when anything else gets any positive news other than XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Cardano. Like, it doesn't matter what Solana does. It doesn't matter what Aave does. Nothing matters. If it's not Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, or XRP, it's a shit coin in his eyes. I'm not mad at that though. I'm not mad at that. Like I said, I'm almost on my Bitcoin Maximus bag too. I'm almost there. I've been pushed there. You know what I'm saying? I've been taken there by Ethereum disappointment. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB Promotion. AB Promotion says people who use fiat, we call them poor. Facts. Have fun staying poor. This is what your life is going to look like. It's going to look like how it's looking in Spain.
The streets of Spain have devolved into chaos. Yes, the middle of summer should be heaven in Spain, but not this year. Locals are being terrorized by migrant gangs with...
Hey, my man just ate that nightstick. Did you see that? He just ate that nightstick hit. Look at this. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. You can see what it says right here. Spain in chaos as locals fight back after migrant gangs violently attack people. And this is in Spain. at least the people there understand what's being said to them before they get attacked or before they get robbed, right? If you guys would agree, that's a plus. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, it's not a plus. Give me a thumbs down. Shout out to DJ Elmo, man. This is what's up. Throw some flames in the chat for DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said, I grow about 70% of my food by sprouting and microgreening. I buy organic, non-irradiated seeds like broccoli, mung beans, and kale. I think this is one way to be self-sufficient. I would agree. I would advise people to learn at bare minimum how to grow food. Get a place to live where you have space where you can grow food. Teach your children how to grow food. It's not that difficult. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down.
The streets of Spain have devolved into chaos. Yes, the middle of summer should be heaven in Spain, but not this year. Locals are being terrorized by migrant gangs with reports of random acts of violence towards innocent local members of the community. The chaos started when an elderly local Spanish man was brutally beaten out of nowhere in Torre Pachato by a North African gang. This show of thuggery sparked outrage in the
show of thuggery. What people think about this? Shout out to TD. TD said, I got to get in on that international migrant crisis. Come on, bro. Let's get it. We getting in on the international migrant crisis, baby. You know what I'm saying? We getting in. Look, shout out to TD's audience, because you know they'll pay you. They'll pay you if you talk about the. Look at this. They getting terrorized all around the world. They getting terrorized all around the world. You got it, TD. This is what I'm gonna give you the assignment, TD. Your job is to make those people believe that the great replacement theory is in its final phases of being complete. If you are able to do that, you will have unlocked unlimited income. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. You have to get into the deepest, darkest corner of those people's pea brains and make them believe. Make them believe the way they believe the Bible that they are next. And once you have done that, the money will literally just rain from the sky. You will want for nothing. You will be able to retire fully on YouTube. Shout out to you, bro. That's the assignment. This message will self-destruct.
community, leading to a weekend of wild clashes between locals and migrant groups. This Spanish commentator was outraged by the scene, saying, "This is happening in Murcia, Spain. Hundreds of armed migrants are attacking Spaniards just for being Spaniards. How are they not deported by now?"
Now, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? So this is going on in Spain. Hundreds of armed migrants are attacking quote-unquote Spaniards just for being Spaniards. How are they not deported by now? What do you guys think about that? And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. Shout out to TD. The great replacement theory is almost complete. And you know we can't allow that. We can't have that. We can't have that. We need those people for capital resources and cash flow. Right? So we have to stop that from happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, facts. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said they have countertop hydroponic vertical farming systems as well. No land or soil needed. Yeah. Facts. Everybody should learn. Everybody should have a bug out bag. Everybody should know how to deal with a shit hit the fan situation. Okay? Everybody should know how to, at the bare minimum, be able to sustain yourself in a shit hit the fan situation. Now, this lady says that there's hate crimes going on in Spain. Hundreds of armed migrants are attacking quote-unquote Spaniards just for being quote-unquote Spaniards. How are they not deported by now? Here's my question. How is it that all of these places that are dealing with large influxes of migrants, how is it that so many alleged quote unquote violent migrants are showing up and causing a lot of issues? How is that? That's the question. What do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think about that.
And it didn't stop there.
Hey, look at that dude just laying in the middle of the street. Look, you see him? He just laying in the street. He out. Look at that. Stiff as a board. It looks like he's like about a foot levitated off of the ground. He's just laying there stiff. What do you guys think about that? Do he need some milk? If he needs some milk, put a milk bottle in the chat. Look at that. He's out. He's laid out. And he's laid out across the curb. This is a bad position. If somebody falls on top of him or decides to just start kicking him or something, it's over with for him. He just out. This is what, when people say, oh, we out there, this is what being out there looks like. This is what being out there ends in. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good look.
This commentator is blasting the media for their lack of coverage on the issue, saying chaos in Spain. Reports.
Well, shout out to Peter, right? You're welcome, Peter. Everybody type in the chat, you're welcome, Peter. Because Peter's crying that the media is not covering it. Okay, well, here, the media is covering it here. So you're welcome, Peter. Chaos in Spain. Reports 0 gangs of foreigners have been attacking people on the streets. Spanish people have gathered on the streets to stop the attacks. Why isn't this on the news? Shout out to Undocumented. It is now. Right? Throw them undocumented membership emojis in the chat. It is now. Now come over here and drop me a nice super chat. Right? Cash at me some Satoshis. Bitch.
Gangs of foreigners have been attacking people on the streets. Spanish people have gathered on the streets to stop the attacks. Why isn't this on the news? The clashes also have a religious undertone, with many blaming the Muslim background of the immigrants for the chaos. This comment.
Now, if you guys, I don't know if you guys have heard, there's a lot of this exact same type of situation going on in not only Ireland, but also in Poland. In the last live stream that we did, we talked about the situation going on in Poland. Right? Culture clashes. This is an actual culture war, right? The people in America talk about a culture war. They haven't seen a culture war. This is an actual culture war. If you guys would agree this is an actual culture war, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, you don't think that it is, give me a thumbs down. Hey, shout out to TD. Maybe he'll be able to get on your show. Bro, if you can get him on the show and get the right quote unquote configuration of people in the chat while he's on the show, it's over with, bro. You on your way. You're gonna skyrocket like Bitcoin. You're gonna skyrocket like Bitcoin. I'm just trying to invest. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to invest. Shout out to Tarek. Tarek says, so who they running from? Great question. Great question.
Tater shared footage of a religious march in the streets of Barcelona.
Now, there's a Cuban flag there, interestingly, right? You guys see the Cuban flag right there? It's in Barcelona. This right here is a bit much. It's a bit much. That's a lot going on down there. What do you guys think about this? That's a lot going on. I mean, you just got that going on in the middle of the street at all times of day. That's kind of different.
He said, military-aged Muslim men take over streets in Spain to show the citizens they are taking control. It is intimidation designed to silence dissent. But these locals had enough and began chanting in defense of Christianity, saying Spain is Christian.
So now this is culture. These are, if you guys would agree, this is what I'm saying. These are actual culture wars. These are actual culture wars. Spain is Christian. a lot of these Abrahamic radicals have been all throughout the world, right? They've been all throughout the world. There was at one time when there was a lot of quote unquote Islam up and through Spain. And it's very interesting how we've cycled, right? We've cycled and we're back into an interesting place, right? It's interesting. It's interesting. Human behavior is inescapable. Everything will repeat. Everything will cycle.
Not Muslim. And again on the streets with larger protest groups gathering to reclaim their country.
Now, I want to ask everybody this question. I got to ask everybody this question, and I want to know what everybody thinks about this. Shout out to Carlton. If Win, Lose, or Rug is in here, Ghost watching, I'm going to need Win, Lose, or Rug to throw some sirens in the chat. If WS is globally such a powerhouse on quote unquote all levels, how is it that these countries are getting taken over like this and these citizens are getting mollywopped in the street? That's my question for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. You're getting whooped. They whooping head, boy. You know they are, right? Shout out to PJ. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said you don't see migrants acting a fool in China. That's because one of them drones will get them. I don't know if China even allows migrants all like that. They might not even really be with it all like that. They might not be with it. China might for real be practicing China first. You know what I'm saying? China mess around and give you a loan to stay out of China. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, where are all of the international militias? Gotta save their fellow brethren. Yeah, where are they? That's a great question. We don't need, listen, everybody will always ask the question, well, quote unquote, where is MAGA on this, right? We don't need to ask where MAGA is on that. We shout out to TD. We got MAGA here, right? So we know where MAGA is. We don't need to ask that question repeatedly. We know where MAGA is. MAGA's in our chat, so we're good there. But where is everyone else? Where's like the MGTOW people, the red pill people? Where Myron Gaines at? Shout out to no need to ask. No need to ask. Where's MAGA at on this? No need to ask. MAGA right here. There you go. And he got a wrench. So be careful how you say it. Be careful how you talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Might get that wrench upside your head. I said wrench upside your head. You might get that wrench upside your head. That wrench upside your head. Tell me why you want to come and troll all in my chat. Tell me why you want to come and troll all in my chat. You get that wrench upside your head.
And all of this chaos is leading some commentators and locals alike.
Ooh, shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says the evidence shows that wherever religion is, there's no peace, especially all of the Abrahamic faiths. Ooh, if you guys would agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, then give me a thumbs down.
To question the need for so much migration.
So you now have ethnic conflict within Spain because of immigration. Immigrants came in, attacked an old man for no reason. Spaniards retaliated, and now the migrants are ganging up to attack Spaniards. And this is supposed to be good for the country. House prices increase, quality of life goes down, wages stay low, social capital goes down, there's ethnic conflict, trust in community goes down, community involvement goes down. But yeah, immigration.
Police clashed with pro-Spain protesters outside a migrant center in Madrid.
Now, I want to ask you guys this question about these situations, right? Do you guys notice that when it comes to the police anywhere in any of these situations, the police always seem to attack the quote unquote people who are the non-migrants? Do you guys notice that? If you guys notice that, give me a thumbs up. If you do not notice that, give me a thumbs down. And this is going on all over the world. My question is, why is that a uniform thing in regards to this migrant situation?
After angry demonstrators took to the area following accusations of a Malian man raping a Spanish woman.
And again, why is it always these same type of crimes all over the place with these people that come from different areas? Shout out to the informant. What's good with it, bro? Why is it that it's always these type of crimes with a lot of these people? Yeah, that dude was he was eating those hits from that nightstick.
Demonstrators took to the area following accusations of a Malian man raping a Spanish woman.
Hey, like, man, they had to be play kicking, because there's no way that you could just stand there and take getting hit like that if them was some real hits.
This commentator applauded the rebellion, saying it's about time. Push back before it's too late.
Now, there's always extra connotations when, quote unquote, the American guy says something like this. What does this mean when, quote unquote, the American guy says something like this? And again, I got to ask my question, man. Like, I got to ask this question, like, why are people here in the United States that are clearly not included in any of this acting as if they are? It's bizarre to me. America is carrying out on all fronts. You know what I'm saying? On all fronts, America is just there's a Karenization of people widely in the United States. Everybody's becoming a Karen, and I'm just curious as to why that's happening. I think that it's a greater sign of global fragility. I think that the West has bred a generation of weak people. And the reason why the West has bred a generation of weak people is because the people have enjoyed prosperity for so long. They don't have the adaptability to be able to withstand fast occurring changes and challenges. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to TD. TD said it's called pan-Europeanism. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Pan-Europeanism. And what's interesting about it is that there's no Dr. Umar Johnson. You never really hear it referred to as that. And you see it all the time. And what's fascinating about it is the people that have a quote unquote issue with it just can't seem to cognitively get it together to either counter it or deal with it. Why is that? Why is that? I found it fascinating that the American guy didn't say, "Your Spanish tether, that's what you get." He didn't say that. He said, "Stand tall, my Spanish brother. Don't let them take over." I think that's kind of, don't you think that's kind of not what we see? Shout out to Jay the Informant. Yeah, we about to flame Dr. Umar up on this reaction video to Saint in the Center. People ain't gonna like that video too much because Satan the Sinner drops a lot of points in that video that are the kind of points that I have when we be doing the chicken noodle soup and airing out the chat. So, you know, I'm just warning in advance. People may not like that video. I'm saying. Shout out to TD. TD said Spanish tether is wild AF. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. They tried. Listen, shout out to my man Keep It 100. They tried to tether my man Keep It 100 up. They tried to tether my man Keep It 100 up. You know what I'm saying? That's the new thing. That's the new McCarthyism. Somebody don't agree with what you say, they're tethered. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, you're right. They don't call each other a tether. Now, I'm a tether for pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a tether for pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? The one thing that I love about myself is that I invite people, right? I invite people to make an accusation against me because I'm the type of ugly that'll do the accusation just to make sure you understand that what was going on before wasn't what you were saying. You feel me? And the thing is that a lot of these vermin on YouTube, that's the only way you can deal with these people. The only way to deal with these people is you have to do a mass napalm eradication. That's the only way to deal with them. It's the only way to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? How many people saw that movie 28 weeks later? Did y'all see that when they just, you know what I'm saying, they just ran through the United Kingdom with all those fire bombs? That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do because nothing else works. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else works. Shout out to TD. Yeah, they try to tether Keep It 100 up. Let me ask you this question, man. Why don't people deal with the points of disagreement? It don't matter where it comes from. I don't have any love or respect for intellectual dishonesty. I don't have any love or respect for low budget brains. If you getting your ass kicked in a debate, you deserve to taste that leather. You deserve to taste that leather. You deserve to have that leather sit on your stomach for a good 2 or 3 days, let it digest, and then push it out next time you go on the toilet because you earned that shit. The diversions that people try to make when they're getting mollywopped and intellectually sludgehammered in debates, you know, they're not even good diversions. They just make the people that make the diversion look even more stupid than they already look. And listen, man, I don't have any type of special pair of glasses on or anything like that. But somebody who's nearsighted could see how stupid a lot of these people look from miles away. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just say this. Get your brain game up. Get your brain game up. Because when people do diversions because they can't deal with a topic at hand, you just expose yourself as an idiot to the rest of us. And it's always the rest of us looking at people like they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? So just, you know, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing that out there. What's about to happen with the tether thing is the same thing that happened with racism. It's the same thing that happened with Coon. Give it 2-3 more years. It's going to be completely irrelevant. It's going to be completely irrelevant because people call in Wolf, people call in Tether, people call in Coon, people call in racism. Intellectual laziness will bury you every single time. Every single time. Now, I want to ask people this question. Yeah, like they did 50. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said your name could be Jatavius Jefferson III, and they'll still call you. They'll still call you a tether. They still call you tether, especially if you disagree with something. You a tether. You know what I'm saying? Like you a tether. I want to see somebody from YouTube walk up to Herschel Walker and call him a coon aggressively. I want to see that. Somebody live stream that if that ever happens. I want to see that. Any of your heroes gonna go up to Herschel Walker and call him a coon to his face? I'll throw down a whole paycheck on it. And my paychecks look nice. I'm just saying. There's this anti-reality issue that people have that they really need to get together. Really need to get together. Or don't get it together. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Yeah, or Shannon Sharp. Yeah, please go call Shannon Sharp a coon. Somebody go call Shannon Sharp a broken buck to his face. See how that go down. No one on YouTube is tough. No one's tough. No one out here is a gangster. You know what I'm saying? The people that do the gangster stuff on YouTube, they in jail. Or either they lost their channel. People got to get into the reality, the real world, and get out of their fantasy land. None of you guys is heroes, the YouTube heroes. No one's running up on anybody. You know what I'm saying? They especially not running up on anybody that they perceive as a risk. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it a buck. Shout out to DSA. That's just the reality of shit. Now call me a tether. Call me a coon. You know what I'm saying? Call me a coon. So I can show y'all what a coon really do. You know what I'm saying? And become a millionaire off of it.
It is anarchy in parts of Spain, France, and the UK right now as migrant gangs from Northern Africa and the Middle East violently try to take over and intimidate innocent people. Spain is currently in crisis with ongoing clashes between migrant gangs and Spaniards following the violent bashing of an elderly man in Torre Pacheco.
Now, I want to ask y'all this question. How many of you all think that there's Tren de Aragua activity in Spain? If there's Tren de Aragua activity in Spain, give me a thumbs up. If there's not Tren de Aragua activity in Spain, give me a thumbs down.
And again in Spain, a man with a baby was callously threatened by a knife-wielding gang for simply walking down the street.
Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said Robb is being intellectually honest. He's a tether. Facts. So that means. That's what that means. Let me ask you guys this question. Have you ever seen anyone called a tether in a situation where they did agree with something that someone said? Like if someone was like, you know what, you right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, qualified immunity. You know what I'm saying? People out here getting deleted by the police all the time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all deserve reparations, yada, yada, yada. Have you ever heard anybody that has said that get called a tether? That's my question for y'all. Shout out to AB. AB says no. I haven't either. Does answering yes to all of those questions change where you're from? No, it don't. So my question is, why is the term not used around the board? It's always only used in a defensive connotation. Show me anywhere where it's not been a defensive connotation where it's been used at. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said people don't call Godfrey a tether. People don't call Lord Jamar a tether. You know what I'm saying? What's up with that, man? Come on, man. Help me out. What's up with that?
And in the tourist mecca of Barcelona, the cobblestone laneways are no longer filled with people enjoying their vacations, but with hundreds of Muslim men chanting.
Hey, what y'all think about this right here? What do you all think about this right here? Let me ask you guys this question. How long before this becomes the United States is my question. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said Mr. Real Estate did. Oh, did he? That's hilarious. Shout out to Mike TV. If he did, that's hilarious. They try. Listen, Mike TV has some issues with some people. Mike TV, about as Black American as it gets. They tried to tether him up. Anytime you have a disagreement with certain people or you disagree with a certain point of particular people on YouTube, somehow you're a tether. Shout out to Mike TV too, man, because I think Mike TV might be the lightest skinned person that I've seen get called a tether. Because for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, you know, colorism don't exist and all that. That seems to be mostly reserved to darker skinned people. The people that quote unquote love their melanin so much, always reserving the tether term for the darker skinned individuals. This is something I find even more fascinating. Why is that? Somebody explain to me why that is. Anybody got the answer for me on that? I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not somebody that'll sit there and tell you I know everything. Right? So I just want to know. I'm trying to, right?
This commentator sent a stark warning, saying if you wanted to visit Barcelona, Spain, now it's looking like Islamabad, Pakistan. France is also in.
Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said he called Godfrey a tether. He probably did. For whatever reason he did it, it was probably because Godfrey said something very questionable, right? Which I ain't mad at him for calling him out if he did say something questionable, right? But that still also shows that term in most cases is used when there's a disagreement. When is that term used when there's an agreement? I remember when Moxie Approved did the video where he was questioning the validity of Tariq Nasheed going on DJ Vlad. All of a sudden, tether. Moxie ain't the one that went on Vlad. You know what I'm saying? Tether. What's up with that? Where's the logic at in that shit? Somebody make it make sense. It's a defensive tactic to attempt to shut down opposition. You could easily shut down opposition with an intellectually honest retort. Yeah, shout out to Cameron. Cameron said it's usually used defensively, but it lands with certain individuals. Here's my question: why is an effective counter argument not used defensively? That's my question. Why is an effective counter argument not used defensively? Yeah, shout out to AB. Yeah, we was all there. So you have people, you're not even allowed to quote unquote question these people. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said it's used to establish where the individual's loyalty is. Does it establish the loyalty though all the time? Does it accurately do that? What about Clarence Thomas? What about Thomas Sowell? What about Larry Elder? You know what I'm saying? I think that people's behavior patterns and their consistency is a far better gauge of establishing loyalty than where they're from in most cases. You know what I'm saying? Because, yes, shout out to Carlton, Jesse Lee Peterson. I mean, the original Sambo, right? Because we all know Sambo is a character from the Uncle Tom's Cabin story. Was he a tether? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said it's not a broad term. Clarence Thomas is a coon, and so is Sowell. A coon is an American that's anti-black, and a tether is an anti-FBA foreigner. I would say that both coons and tethers, the terminology is now used to dissuade credibility of any opposing argument to a popular narrative. You know what I'm saying? That I would say that. My question is, how come nobody calls criminals that delete people all the time coons? You know what I'm saying? Now that's you know, if you have an anti-bug spray kills bugs, right? If you have anti-black people, in my opinion, in many cases would kill people that delete black people, right? Like if you have a antibacterial deletes bacteria, right? So if you ask me, some of the number one people who are quote unquote anti-black are criminals, wherever the variety of criminals come from. Those people are never called coons. Only sometimes are they called tethers. When people are trying to do quote unquote appearance cleanup. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said there was a Twitter space on who's more dangerous, Sambos or tethers. I would say dummies and simps are the most dangerous people in the world. Shout out to Kamala Harris. She said she liked Venn diagrams. Those fit on a Venn diagram. Now, the thing is that in many cases, though, with these terms, they're only reserved when you have an oppositional view to particular YouTubers. It might not be something that's political. It might be an opinion. If it's not the same as what particular YouTubers who have subscriber supremacy, shout out to Ty City on that, that's when you get called those type of names. Again, my question is, why not? Why is there a lack of formulation of an effective counter argument? That's because that's what stops bad faith arguments ultimately, right? You ultimately shut down bad faith arguments with a fact-based effective counter argument. So my question is, where are those at? Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said Neely Fuller already addressed this whole tether and other acronyms. I would agree, but I don't think that Neely Fuller addressed them in the way that they're being used today. I think Neely Fuller addressed them as they pertain to his worldview on WS. I don't believe that there be the same way snitch, right? Because Neely Fuller came up with the terms, he was talking about a snitch. The word snitch is not used in the way that Neely Fuller Jr. talked about it, right? Me personally, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that this is used in the way that Neely Fuller intended it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the word in the system, quote unquote, code is used in the way that Neely Fuller intended it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. AB says the word tether doesn't even bother me. It has no relevance to me as an individual. People just like to talk. I just let them. To me, it's a self-exposure because, in my opinion, let's say, for instance, I'm debating something with somebody and I got them dead to rights in a debate. When you start repeating that incessantly instead of answering my questions or addressing my points, you throwing up the W for me. I already know that I won. I already know that I put your face in the dirt. I already know that. You don't have nothing else. So that's all that you do in desperation. You throwing up Hail Marys, I'm already beat your ass. I can walk away. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that smell blood know how to deal with that shit. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, I would say when we get W's, we're all black. When they get a W, they are whatever their ethnic nationality is. When we commit a heinous act, we're black. When they commit a heinous act, we're all black. Now, here goes my question. I wouldn't disagree that occurs in a lot of different cases, right? But I would also say that the entities that perpetuate that more so is the W media. Because what, besides YouTube channels and social media, what quote unquote American quote unquote tether media is doing that? Even these clown Democrats, the clown ass Democrats like Joey Reid, when it comes to that element, that aspect of getting a W, we all black. When they get a W, it's whatever ethnic nationality it is. On MSNBC, you don't, that particular kind of talk, that specific thing, you don't really hear too much of that. They do other dumb shit, like assigning our history to other groups of people, which is bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just as bad. But that particular thing, I would say it's a lot of mainstream media and a lot of W media that do that. I think that people's brains are so fried nowadays, they can't even, they're so blurred and brains is just so melted. They don't even know where a lot of the anti-black sentiment is coming in. So now they just throwing darts at anything, hoping they hit something. They ain't even trying to hit the bullseye anymore. They just trying to hit anything. It's desperation. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, tether isn't everyone. I think our natural position to be cooperate based on our common traits. I think that is the case generally. But Candace Owens, Myron Gaines, Larry Elder is Panamanian fresh. Wait, Larry Elder is Panamanian? Now, here go my thing, right? Another thing with the Myron Gaines thing. Black people made Myron Gaines black. You know what I'm saying? I've made videos about him being fake as fuck long time ago. And when he was cool with Kevin Samuels, he was one of the homeboys and shit. People was, you making these videos, yada, yada, yada. You just hating, yada, yada, yada. I said, yo, Kevin Samuels bringing you these dudes. These is clowns. And this dude, Myron, he is questionable if he's even an actual black person. Kevin Samuels invited them to the barbecue, made them big, and no one says anything about Kevin Samuels doing it. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Samuels, another one, went on Vlad. I made a video about Kevin Samuels saying Kevin Samuels shouldn't go on Vlad. They're going to take information that Vlad asks, and if something come up with some type of scandal or something with Kevin Samuels, they're going to use that against him. How many people made videos when Kevin Samuels passed away and took clips out of that Vlad interview? Went to the barbecue. He went to the Vlad barbecue. You know what I'm saying? As far as Candace Owens goes, she's a clown. You know what I'm saying? How can people not tell Candace Owens is a clown? Who is Myron Gaines looks like the dude that's selling you Black and Miles at the gas station. Who the hell don't know that he's not black? I'd be so tired of hearing people like, how do people always get undercovered? I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. And I ain't talking about you, Cameron, because you ain't saying that. But I'm just saying this is something that I hear a lot. We didn't know. You for real didn't know? You ain't never bought some liquor from the gas station from a dude that looked like Myron in the hood? Come on, man. They up there talking on their prepaid phones, and then as soon as you come in, hey, how can I help you? We got do-rags in the back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from the Midwest. I never even grew up around like a whole bunch of foreign people. And I've been around so many people that's not foreign. Somebody that is foreign stand out like a sore thumb. I might not know, and I was shout out to Keep It 100. I was talking to Keep It 100 about this on the phone yesterday. I might not know where exactly you're from, but I know that your grandmother doesn't have a recipe for sweet potato pie. I know I'm not going to go over your house and get collard greens for dinner. Shout out to Wallow J. What's good with it, bro? I know I'm not going to go over your house and get collard greens for dinner. You know what I'm saying? So how do people not? Where's the situational awareness at with any of this? People don't be recognizing people's last names. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tell you something stupid. Like if you ask them like, yo, where you from? Oh, I'm from Oregon. What you mean you from what? You know what I'm saying? You're from Oregon. No one answers like that. What do you mean you're from Oregon? That should tip you off right there. Shout out to Alonda. Alonda said, so my first question to you, Rob, is do you think Umar Johnson's idea of Pan-Africanism is dead? I think that all ideas of any type of Wakandaism are outdated and have a track record of evidence since Marcus Garvey that they don't work. That's not even what I think. That's what evidence shows. Show me what business that Pan-Africanism has put in the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and has at least 1% market share of any industry that it's in. Because we're quote unquote economically speaking, right? So if we're economically speaking, we're going to use quote unquote economic indicators. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, I say our house is on fire. And if someone comes up asking us for water, I say after my house is okay, you can have some water, because if their fire is out first, they may not share the water with us. I would agree, and I would actually say that should be common sense. Most organisms, even at the lowest levels, are programmed for self-sustenance. It's a bizarre phenomenon. Shout out to Carlton. It's a strange phenomenon when alleged advanced organisms are not programmed for self-sustenance. It's very strange. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I've questioned for a long time. And then people will call you a heathen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a heathen. Even by the definition of the word. You know what I'm saying? The definition of there's another, there it is right there. If we are quote unquote the tribe of Judah, allegedly, why is anybody calling anybody heathens? But who do you hear calling each other heathens? Like, I don't understand any of this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Right? Who are the alleged quote unquote people of Judah? Right? The grandmothers, grandparents, and church people of the alleged people of Judah are going around calling each other heathens. Here's my question. How is that biblically possible if that's what you believe? I can't do it with this bullshit, is what I be saying all the time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the informant. The informant says Umar is a Pan-Africanist. He's a false prophet, egomaniac, narcissist. I wouldn't disagree with that, bro. I think you got him. I think you got him sized up pretty well with that comment. Shout out to AB. AB said they didn't check the hairline. Now, again, people may not like the comment about the Wakanda business model. I've said for a long time the Wakanda business model doesn't work. Let me ask you guys this question. How is the Wakanda business model evolving with the changing world? Where's the Wakanda AI? Where's the Wakanda blockchain? Where's the Wakanda DeFi? Where's any of this shit? Where's the Wakanda space mission? Where's the Wakanda clean energy initiative? The Wakanda people ain't even Wakanda, and they with bricks. Everybody like bricks. There you go. Talked about bricks. The Wakanda people ain't even Wakanda, and they're with bricks. Now, I told the truth. That makes me a coon. Throw the raccoon emojis in the chat for me, right? Because when you come with an irrefutable point that upsets people, that is what makes you a coon. Right? That is what will make people say, take off your do-rag, Rob. Right? Take off your do-rag. My cornrows is longer than Bone Thugs and Harmony. Right? I'm from the Midwest. Shout out to TD. TD seen my grandmother's obituary and all the people in my family. Right? But you know how that go. None of that shit matters. Now, here's my thing. I would actually like to see a business in the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average or a leading tech company or a stablecoin company. Right? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, I think arguments in bad faith don't count. I would agree. I would agree. I think these are things that need to be done. Shout out to TD. TD said, where's your do-rag from? It's from that part of Walmart, the half shelf where they keep all the black products at. You know what I'm saying? It's from that 1/4 of a shelf at Walmart where they keep all the black products at. You know, the olive oil shampoo and the Luster's pink oil and all that. The S-curl that you be using. The S-curl that you be using. The green vitamin E grease. You know what I'm saying? That green and blue grease in the glass bottle. And the sulfur 8. That's where all that shit at. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But for real though, man, I think that people need to do permanent damage to these bad faith arguments. I don't think that a comedy show effectively deals with bad faith arguments. To me personally, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said most of these people that are naysayers are paid ops from 3-letter agencies and think tanks. I would say they might be from think tanks for sure. I wouldn't disagree with that. 3-letter agencies, I'm questionable on that. I'm questionable about that. Shout out to TD. TD said, I wanted to cop the S-curl so bad. My mom wouldn't let me get it. She did right. She definitely did right by you. Yeah, I used to use Dax Wax to, you know what I'm saying, when I had the 360 waves back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Your boy had the deep waves. I had the Mason Bethel waves. I used to use sporting waves too. You know what I'm saying? Comb it down, put the hot towel on there. You know what I'm saying? Tie the do-rag on there and put the wave cap over the do-rag. Man, how your 360 spinning like a rollie. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron says the trolls that pop up in your chat are agents. Listen, I can't even get people that are interested in my content to pop up in my chat. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way in hell anybody is sending any trolls to my chat unless it's just genuine individuals who just don't like me. Now, you know, if I was made great, that'd be a different story, right? But I'm not great. You know what I mean? Now, shout out to Cameron, right? Cameron, you about to die laughing. Hey, you about to die laughing on this one. Cameron said, just to disrupt and waste time and get us off topic. We don't even need trolls to do that. We do that shit all the time without no troll. We don't need them to do that. The trolls might fuck around and keep us on topic. You know what I'm saying? The trolls fuck around and keep us on topic. We get off the topic on our own. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. The trolls come and see a title talking about United States National Socializes farmland and international riots. And they be like, man, they in there talking about rallies. They in there talking about Raising Cane's and Chick-fil-A. We can skip past this one. You know what I'm saying? And keep on going. And it's only like 15, 20 people in there. Hey, we ain't got to worry about that. We can check this one off the list. Hey, look, if you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Ain't nobody coming on. Ain't no pay. No, being a paid troll to come and troll my comment section, right? That would be the easiest, most free money that you ever got. That'd be the easiest and most free money that you ever got. Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody about to troll my. Ain't nobody about to troll my. The only, like I said, when I go in on Fresh and Fit, which I will never go in on Fresh and Fit ever again, like I told y'all. But when I was going in on Fresh and Fit, that was when people were saving Fresh and Fit, right? So remember, the reason why I don't go in on Fresh and Fit no more is because the people wanted me to stop fucking with Fresh and Fit. Not because I have any type of agreement with any of the nonsense that they say. Going in on Fresh and Fit had the people upset. A lot of them people not around so much anymore. Some of them still are. But the people were upset, right? So we're adjusting to the people, right? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alonda. Alonda said, actually, not true. I remember a few years ago, 2022, there was a troll who used to troll you with $20 super chat. Yeah, shout out to Fartman. Fartman still here. He's still a member. You know what I'm saying? Fartman's still a member. He probably is watching right now. But Fartman ain't never report my channel. He never tried to, you know what I'm saying? He never tried to get my channel taken down or get any videos taken down. And I mean, when the troll, you know what I'm saying, be out super chatting the chat, I don't know what to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to the modern investor. Like, this is different. You know what I'm saying? And then you just kind of, you know, keep it pushing. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, you don't think the government monitors pro-black content? I wouldn't go as far as to say that. Me personally, I don't know. And I don't know, man. I can't, my content, I can't be a coon and be pro-black. And y'all know I feel that a lot of pro-blacks are coons. So I don't even know if I would qualify as any of that. I think that I would actually qualify more as a quote-unquote anti-disestablishment content creator, more so than that. Because it'll be black people that say that I'm not pro-black. You know what I'm saying? Pro-black is the Wakanda business model will take over the world. I don't say the Wakanda business model will take over the world. I said Bitcoin going to take over the world. I said that the Wakanda business model doesn't work. Can't be pro-black talking like that. You know what I'm saying? That's coon talk. Some shit, if it sounds good, it's got to get backed up. If it doesn't sound good, you cannot criticize it under any circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they would qualify me as they wouldn't qualify me as that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. AB said he uses the red DAX. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said this network is educational. and current events for Black audience. The reason why it's current events and educational for a Black audience is because most other people have sense enough to support people that they relate to. There's only certain groups of people that attempt to discredit people that they relate to and don't support them. You know what I'm saying? So that goes with the territory. And that's the whole issue about people won't make you great, but people will make you dead. Right? Now, if I say people won't make you great, but people will make you dead, people be talking that coon shit until you pull up a whole bunch of people who got made dead when they should have been made great. They'll sit there and call me a coon, right? But never call the people coons that deleted any of these people, though. And again, this is that intellectual dishonesty. That is a plague. That is a curse. That is baked in. People always talk about these quote unquote baked in ish. This is some baked in shit that people need to extract and deal with. But I'm curious at this point in history that the recognition may be so off that people don't even know that this kind of stuff is happening. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know that this kind of stuff is happening. So it's the same question as always. How do people deal with that? Now, my thing is too, right? When it comes to how your content is classified, your content is classified based on how other people perceive you. Despite the fact that most people who watch my financial content have, between 30 and 40% gains based on the type of financial instruments that we talk about in my content, I get no recognition as a quote unquote financial content creator by the people who are supposed to quote unquote make me great. So now Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this issue that people have of quote unquote boycotting their own businesses. Why are people wanting Marvel and all these other, companies to make quote unquote Black superheroes and all this stuff instead of people coming up with an entirely Black comic book company and supporting it? All these companies did put Black heroes in there. Nobody made Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane put Spawn in there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody made Stan Lee make Power Man or make Storm. Nobody put a gun to their head and made them do that shit. But the majority of the people that's paying the money for those particular products want to see a different composition of superheroes. So that creates a market need for people that want to see a composition of superheroes that's different than what the majority of people want to see. Why haven't people created a business doing that? That's my question. That's how you create a business. You identify a market need, a market niche. White people mad because Jim Lee and Stan Lee on their own accord decided to come up with Black superheroes. They're mad about it. Okay, you see that there's a shift in sentiment. Okay, that shift in sentiment creates a market opening. Jump into market opening. But instead of jumping into market opening, people are saying you should ruin your business. Ruin your business by providing unpopular content. Make it make sense. I need people to make this shit make sense. This is what I'm saying. This is one of the reasons why I keep saying the Wakanda business model will not work. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron says, I try to talk to my family about crypto, and a few of these young people are interested, but most of them could care less. You can't save everyone. The number of viewers when you broadcast about money. And people need to constantly be reminded you are unsavable. You are unhelpable. People can't get gaslit and act like they're where they are as a result of circumstance 100% of the time, because a lot of the percentage of the time, people are where they are as a result of choice. Choice can lead to circumstance, right? Sometimes circumstance is independent of choice, but in most cases, choice precedes circumstance. You know what I'm saying? And, people don't really give that credit because it goes against the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. AB said this idea of a Wakanda should be thrown away. I see network with people of like minds. I agree. Facts. How do you engage in global commerce if your business model is inbred? How does that work? And who else has an inbred business model that is making trillions of dollars a year? Show me companies that make the largest amount of revenues with an inbred business model. Shout out to Shatera. What's good with it, Shatera? What it do? That's my question. Now, here go the thing, right? All these people that talk about these business models, none of these people have any type of educational background or experience in international business, commerce, or finance. None of them. None of them. But people listen to that shit. I would never try to create any type of business. I would never do any type of crowdfunding. I can't do it. There are people that are so ignorant of business practice that simply paying for a good or a service that you offer will get you called a scammer. I'm cool. I'm good on it. I don't want your money. You know what I'm saying? I got Bitcoin. I don't want your money. You can send me some Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? You can send me some Satoshis. You can send me some sats. But I ain't offering no services. You know what I'm saying? Because if you receive money, automatically you're a scammer. Let me ask you guys this question. Name anyone who has received money that hasn't been called a scammer. Now, people will go and give their money to multiple different companies every day. They'll pay the cable bill. They'll pay the phone bill. They'll pay the car note. They'll pay all these different bills and costs. But then as soon as you offer a product, dare you look like the person you're doing business with, you automatically are a scammer. Everybody making YouTube videos about you. YouTube pumping the algorithm and shit. I will never offer a business to anybody via YouTube, social media, because I can't. People have the track record is established. Anybody who has ever received money or done commerce by the YouTube crowd of idiots has been called a scammer. I'm good. Good luck. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. What's good with Intuitively Wise? Welcome to the stream. Intuitively Wise says, I think older people remember the .com crash and the loss was too great to try again. I completely disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because there was not a large amount of people investing in stocks during the .com crash. If you invested in companies during the quote unquote .com crash, you should have still made money unless you were just investing in some completely bizarre shit. Most of the companies that were headlining the .com era are still around. America Online is still around. Yahoo is still around. Microsoft is still around. Google is still around. YouTube is still around. PayPal is still around. What the fuck was people investing in? You know what I'm saying? And again, a lot of these people don't even believe in investment. So if someone wants to sell me a story that there was some person out there that's our peers that lost millions of dollars during the .com boom, I completely I gotta see it. I gotta see proof. Gotta see proof. You know what I'm saying? I got to. Because these companies are still around. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may not be jumping like how they were back then, but they're still around. And they're all still around at higher than their IPO price. You know what I'm saying? And there was stock market crashes way before the .com boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does everyone just ignore the dollar crash? Like, the actual dollar that you pay for shit with has crashed multiple times. Everybody just ignores that. No one remembers that. You know what I'm saying? But people don't know how to avoid a bubble. Anybody that's an experienced investor would have known, buy the dip, sell the gain, and expect a bubble, because all these companies ain't gonna make it, just like all the crypto ain't gonna make it. Who was doing this investing? And where was they investing at? Because you didn't have Cash App or Robinhood or any of that type of shit to invest in back then. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Right, but who is investing in Compaq? Compaq, and it's not going to zero. If you're talking about the computer company, Compaq, they merged with Hewlett Packard, and Hewlett Packard is still making computers. Are you talking about Compaq, the computer company? Because if that's who you're talking about, they merged with Hewlett Packard, HP, and are still making computers. And companies don't go to zero when there's a merger. That's not what happens. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shatera. Shatera said, just like people say with Tariq Nasheed, I'm like, sold something and people bought it. No scam there. And I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, and when they buy your product, they ask, what you gonna do with my money? How many people do you think ask Michael Saylor what he's gonna do with their money when he sells convertible notes? No one. They know what he's gonna do. He's gonna buy more Bitcoin. Who's sitting here making people behave in this way? Who's making people behave in this way? You got somebody that's live right now, an old guy, right? Telling people not to invest in cryptocurrency. And you got Michael Saylor giving his shareholders thousands upon thousands of year-over-year return on his business that literally got out of software manufacture and just invest in crypto. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise says, I know, yes, they lost money. HP value is lower. They only lost money if they bought at non-strategic times. Like this is the people buy at the tops. If you lose money in the market, in most cases, you brought it on yourself because you didn't properly research the market. That's a self-failure that those people need to hold themselves accountable for. I didn't study the charts. I saw everybody else and I FOMO'd. That's what that's called, is FOMO. And HP has not lost money against its IPO. There's not, listen, just in the last 6 weeks, there was losses that wiped out gains from 2020. All of those losses have been erased. So again, my question is, who lost money on HP? What price did they buy the stock at? People always say that they lost money on something or gained money on something and can never show any receipts. How were they even buying HP stock? How were they even doing it? Because back then you couldn't buy it on Robinhood. You couldn't buy it on the only way you could get this kind of stuff is through your 401k. You know what I'm saying? shout out to Shatera. Hey, I appreciate it. Make sure y'all show Shatera some love. Those are flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Shatera. Shatera said Rob got AARP. Shout out to him. You already know. got them old ninja benefits. Make sure y'all show Shatera some love. She bought y'all lunch. Let me see. Hold on. Let me find this real quick. They got this new layout on StreamYard, and I'm not used to it yet.
Eat the cat. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Seeing red, so don't push me. Ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the... Said it was some Haitians somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels.
Have you seen Garfield?
Eat the cat.
Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is coughing up like a hairball. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger helper. Somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter. Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you take my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating cat.
It's a shame, it's a pity. Thought overseas where they said Hello Kitty, but it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing and where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he took with that? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And they got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. The cat.
Drop that cat.
Shout out to Shatera. Definitely appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so much. And Shatera can tell y'all, I've been trying to get people, you know what I'm saying, to just throw a little money into Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying, since it was $1,500. You know what I'm saying? If you had to put $100 in while it was $1,500, you would have $10,000 today. Now, how's that for a chance? What about the chance that people lost out on $10,000 by investing, you know what I'm saying, 100? See, because here goes the thing. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. And I feel you, right? Intuitively Wise is saying, I was saying why older people probably don't want to take chances. I disagree. I believe that old people have a skewed idea of what taking chances are. Old people have no problem handing their money to somebody and then walking away and having no idea what that person is doing with their money. You know what I'm saying? No idea. They'll give their money to a 401k manager. They'll hand their money to a teller at a bank. No problems asked. None. You can keep custody of your own money, and your own money will appreciate at a higher rate than any bank can offer. And they call that, quote unquote, taking a chance. What that shows to me is that those people is not taking a chance with the money that they're uncomfortable with. They don't trust themselves. They believe that self-custody is taking a chance. And that, you know, that says something. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. Alpha Male Pimp Network says, no disrespect, Rob, but in your opinion, how does everything you're discussing right now about crypto tie into the subject of U.S. National Socializes farmland and immigration? I'm going to tell you exactly how. Because the company that has the country that is using the most hash rate and mines the most Bitcoin on a global level is also buying large amounts of farmland, so much so that the United States has to stop them from buying the farmland. This is another area where we're chasing tail against China. It's crypto week this week, in case anybody wasn't aware, right? The reason why it's crypto week is because China is kicking ass in crypto. China is using that crypto and using the gold that has been hoarding to buy farmland here in the United States. Farmers and people in the United States are crying that they're broke when they could have started a strategic Bitcoin reserve in 2017 and be self-sufficient with their farmland. So now they're playing victim. So now they got to get protections from the United States, the same way that Elon Musk has to get protections from the United States to remain competitive with China. And that's how it ties in. And it also ties in because we was talking about the Wakanda business model, and the Wakanda business model has no chance of working because new technologies like cryptocurrencies and blockchains are not implemented, because we are among a bunch of people that anytime there's technology, the technology is somehow some biblical evil, while we simultaneously invented everything. Right? So if we simultaneously invented everything, right, that means that we had to have some contribution to the invention of evil, right? Or what people perceive as evil. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise says there's an old saying, you have to see for your money. If you ask me, old sayings should be thrown away. You know what I'm saying? If you live by old sayings, you're going to get old results. And you can see your money. You can, all you got to do is just turn on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see your money. You can see it all over the place, like an ant mine. You can see where it goes, wallet to wallet. You can't see your money at the bank. You can't go to the bank at 2:00 in the morning and open up the vault and see your physical money in there. Now, you can see your money on a computer screen at 2:00 in the morning, just like you can see your Bitcoin on a computer screen at 2:00 in the morning. But again, this is the Bitcoin double standards. Bitcoin is the Michael Jordan of all assets, and yet Bitcoin has to do better in comparison to underperforming assets. Like this is just what it is. This is just the uphill battle of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tedra. Tedra said, no one asked me for money because I asked so many questions about why they need it and what they're going to do with it, to the point where they say, never mind. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a difference between people taking your money in bad faith versus people offering a service. You know what I'm saying? People offer a service, you know what I'm saying? That's a different story. People just asking for money, because people do that as well. Yeah, I don't give away my money when people ask. You know what I'm saying? I don't give away my money when people ask. Here goes my question. Why are people not buying up American farmland? Now, shout out to Intuitively Wise. Okay, so who can tell me right now what the true value of a US dollar is? What is the true value of a US dollar? Anybody got the answer? Somebody tell me the value of a US dollar. What is the value of a US dollar? You have one US dollar. What's the value of that? And here's another question. What determines value? Are US dollars common, or are US dollars scarce? Are US dollars all over the place, or are US dollars very hard to come by? What can you get for one US dollar? And how much is one US dollar worth globally? Shout out to AB. AB says dollars are common. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. If something is common, does that contribute or take away from its value? Next question. Are dollars difficult to reproduce? So now again, when we examine the dollar, does the value of a dollar come from? All of the things that fall under what would define value, the dollar lacks all of those characteristics. What's more valuable, a diamond or a dollar? That's my question. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise says you need dollars to buy Bitcoin. No, you don't. That's not true. Who told you that? You can get Bitcoin for whatever you and an independent party agree you're getting Bitcoin for. You don't need you don't need US dollars to buy Bitcoin. Shout out to AB. You can mine for Bitcoin. Facts. Yeah, you don't need the US dollar to get Bitcoin. That's not a true statement. And when you mine Bitcoin, technically that's also technically not buying Bitcoin. That's technically working for Bitcoin, right? Because the existence of the Bitcoin is the proof of work, right? And mining is the work. So you're technically working for Bitcoin, which is how you're getting Bitcoin without exchange for dollars. And you can exchange Bitcoin for anything. But now, shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, I'll trade you my Doge for your Bitcoin. People do that. There's $1 billion businesses based on people doing exactly this right here. There used to be this thing, I don't know if it's still around anymore, called Shapeshifter. Is Shapeshifter still around? The program, the app called Shapeshifter. That's exactly what Shapeshifter was. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise said, I thought it cost to purchase to get in the wallet. It costs Satoshis. Don't cost dollars. The Bitcoin network doesn't accept dollars. You know what I'm saying? If you're using the direct Bitcoin network, exchanges accept dollars. You know what I'm saying? You buy some Bitcoin off of Cash App accepts dollars. But you can also get Bitcoin off of the Bitcoin network. And the Bitcoin network, for the most part, doesn't transact in dollars. Same with Ethereum. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is what I'm saying. So here you say, I thought it cost to purchase to get in the wallet. People are taking cryptocurrency thoughts and running with it like it's cryptocurrency facts. Like, that's a dangerous mode of operation to do in any arena, which goes back to the reason why I encourage people, you should diffuse arguments with effective counter arguments. You know what I'm saying? Not just I'm gonna just call you names and all that. Like that's not how that that doesn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise says, how can you get in for free? You have to pay to make money in any situation. There's no situation where you just get anything for free. You know what I'm saying? And now that's the thing, right? Earlier, and shout out to you for this comment, because this is a good comment. You said that older people don't want to take chances. Let me ask you guys this question. What's the relationship between risk and return when it comes to taking chances? The fear and resistance of taking chances are one thing that maintains a wealth ceiling on the wealth gap. If you're scared, you remain under a control line, and you will never have the volatility to go above that control line. So now what's happened is there's become a self-maintaining encapsulation that people don't acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? No, it doesn't go back to the dollar. How does it go back to the dollar? You don't need the dollar to get cryptocurrency. It's an option, but you don't need the dollar. You don't need the dollar. How do other countries that don't use the dollar buy any commerce, involve themselves in anything? This American-centric idea that everything flows through the dollar is false. It's just like religion, and it's peddled that this is supremacy by the people who it's harmed the most. There's nothing more powerful than the United States. There's tons of stuff that's more powerful than the United States dollar. You know what I'm saying? Seriously? Nothing goes back to the dollar except for deflation. The dollar or inflation. The dollar is an inflationary asset. You will lose money holding dollars. And I want you to understand, the way that you're advocating for the dollar, you're not the only person that advocates for the dollar, right? Now look at everyone like you and how the assets and value that they have is eroding over time. You don't think it might be because you're storing your money in a form that rots? You know what I'm saying? Like, the decay of the dollar, this is like trying to argue with people is better to store your money in a refrigerator. It's better to store your food in a refrigerator. But a refrigerator is evil. It used that evil stuff called electricity. So you don't think getting food poison is evil. One of the reasons I don't believe in evil, because these rolling double standards. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. Alpha Male Pimp Network says, did you know global currency value changes every 80 years? The pound sterling lasted 80 years until 1944. Now, 80 years later, crypto is about to replace the US dollar. I've been telling people about this for years. But again, people who are prone to being poor, people who are prone to a lack of wealth, have a affinity of wanting to preserve those conditions. So they argue and argue and argue with anything that could improve their position. And then ask the question, why am I in this position? This is the pattern. This is what happens. Everybody's leaders are telling them that artificial intelligence and Bitcoin are evil. Evil. Archaic terminology like evil. This is what people that wear leaves say about this kind of stuff. People that wear leaves and animal tooth necklaces. You know what I'm saying? And pour water on your cell phone because a face came up on it. Like this is that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise says the dollar is to pay bills that regulate by the government. Now here's my question. What does that mean? Bitcoin is not regulated by the government, right? So again, the people associate the plantation with the goodness of something. The good White House plantation controlling your dollars is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people had this weird it's this odd relationship with being controlled. It's very strange. You know what I'm saying? Now, right, we're going to take it there. The same government that killed Malcolm X, same government that killed Martin Luther King, trust them with your dollars, right? Like, again, like, this is the double standard shit. This is the double standard shit. Yeah, shout out to AB Promotion. AB Promotion said, Rob, you a fool. Leaves and tooth necklaces. Yeah. These the people that are running around a tiki. They're running around a totem pole, you know what I'm saying, with a cell phone on top of it, and think that the cell phone is actually giving them some type of divine, some type of divine, you know, message. And it literally they just hit the home button and it's Siri. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Intuitively Wise. What value? Explain the value. Being attached to a government doesn't imply value. It's a small factor of the total value, right? If the dollar is so valuable, why is it not worth $117,000? You're trying to tell me that something that's worth one of itself is more valuable or greater than something that's worth 117,000 of the same thing. Bitcoin is 117,000 times more powerful than a dollar. And you're trying to convince me. You're trying to convince me that a dollar is somehow more valuable. Like, make that again. That's not even mathematically sensible. Like, there's no circumstance where one is greater than 117,000. Like, there's no case of that anywhere in existence under these laws of physics. You know what I'm saying? If the dollar is so valuable, why is the United States buying Bitcoin? Why is the United States trading its $1, right, for Bitcoin? The United States isn't selling its Bitcoin to bring in more dollars. The United States is giving up its beloved dollars to buy 1 million Bitcoin. Why is it doing that? How are the numbers made up? You know what's actually made up? The dollar value numbers. Anytime they do what's called quantitative easing, they're making up the value. The reason why inflation occurs is because the value of the dollar is manipulated. No one's manipulating the value of Bitcoin because there's only 21 million Bitcoin. It can't be manipulated. Every time what is bought with the dollars that are just printed out of the thin air? Is there anybody that can tell me this? What value are they assigned? You just turn on a printer and dollars come out of it. What asset is that being matched with? Because you don't understand Bitcoin, you call it made up. You don't understand it and you call it made up. There's plenty of charts that justify its value. There's plenty of literature that you can read where asset managers and companies are buying Bitcoin at increasing rates. And you, who is not a financial expert or is not an economist, is saying that the numbers are made up. But what's actually made up is dollar value. And there's literature that shows that, and you're ignoring that. There's no evidence of Bitcoin being manipulated. It's almost impossible to manipulate Bitcoin because it's automated. Shout out to Carlton. Listen, intuitively wise. Listen to what Carlton is saying. Get you some assets before the money printer turns on. Let me ask you this question. When the money printer turns on, what is that going to do to the money that you already have? You know what's going to happen to the people that have Bitcoin? When the money printer turns on, the money that gets turned on is going to get sucked into Bitcoin like a vacuum cleaner, and it's going to make the price skyrocket. You know what's going to happen to your money? Your money is going to have a supply increase. And if you understand economics, when there's a supply increase, the demand decreases and the value goes down. So if you're holding dollars, the worst thing that can happen to you is when the Fed pushes that print button. If you're holding gold or Bitcoin or anything else, inflation-proof asset, your money is going to go up. But it's this kind of financial behavior that causes people to be in the position that they're in. Now, if you say anything about this, or you criticize this, or you try to say, hey, try to maybe do these kind of things and maybe you'll preserve your wealth, that's when you get called a coon. Unless you keep your ledger inside of your mattress, stop storing your money in the mattress. Put it into an asset that increases in value over time. Everyone buys a car. Cars decrease in value as soon as you drive them off the lot. Literally, no one stops buying cars. Anytime you take Bitcoin off of the chain, it increases in value. Everybody has every reason not to buy Bitcoin. This is why some people will never be anywhere. There will never be any upward momentum, ever. There's a natural resistance to technology. It's almost genetic. It's weird. And to me, right, it's better to identify that because that's to people's detriment. People who own 0 Bitcoin and have been alive since 2008, you've already paid $117,000 in opportunity costs. You already paid $117,000 at the least in opportunity costs. And then again, people are sitting around asking why they're broke. Rich people deserve to be rich. Poor people deserve to be poor. You earn it. Poor people earn being poor. They deserve every bit of it. You earn it. You work hard. If you guys would agree, you work hard to be poor. You deserve to be poor. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. People working hard generationally to keep generations of themselves poor. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise says, speaking from an older person who did the stock market and did not get rich due to crashes. Now, how did some people get rich while you got broke? How did that happen? How did that happen? Let me ask you this question. How much stock did you buy during the crash? Or did you buy the stock when you saw everybody else buying it and the price was going up? Here's another question. How much research did you do on your investments? When the interrogation starts, the chat numbers go down. These are our peers, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to understand this. Pay very close attention. Pay very close attention. There are people right now that were in the stock market before and during the time that you were in and are still thereafter. And they're rich from the stock market, from the same stock market that you said that you lost money in. How did they get rich and you lost money? Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Stay with one company. Well, an experienced investment portfolio manager would tell you to diversify. So there's one issue right there. Now you talk about old sayings. Didn't you apply the saying about putting all your eggs into one basket? What happened to that old saying? Because that is an old saying, right? And if you invest in only one company, that is putting all your eggs into one basket, right? So what happened there? You shouldn't put all your eggs into one basket is the oldest pre-diversification advertisement that there is. Shout out to Michael R. Michael R said the experts know how to short stock. Facts. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Did my own investment. Here's my question for you. Do you have an MBA? Do you have any international or financial market experience? Are you a CPA? Do you have a Series 7 or 63 license? Any of those things? Now, here's another question. Would you try your own brain surgery? Shout out to AB Promotion. AB Promotion said, "Damn, the numbers are going down. This conversation is fire." Yo, I appreciate it, bro. This conversation is fire, and it's burning, and it's burning people out. We're flushing people out. You know what I'm saying? And again, and the reason I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show it time after time after time after time. Anytime our peers cause self-detriment, there is never a root cause analysis, ever. The idea of WS has been an easy out instead of root cause analysis. This is one of the reasons why no problems ever change. If we can just turf this issue off as something else and not improve internal processes, then that's just what it is. We just call it that. Imagine if you owned a business and every time there was low revenues, it's macroeconomic shit. It's macroeconomic shit. Nothing I can do about it. Systemic. It's macroeconomic shit. Would your business ever flourish? No, it wouldn't. Because you got to understand how to address the macroeconomic bottlenecks that you might face. You know what I'm saying? When you have a boogeyman, you just turf it off to the boogeyman, and when conditions self-normalize, then we'll just ride the self-normalization for a while. It won't be sustainable, though. This is why I want you guys to understand, this is why nothing will ever change. There's no database update. There's no software upgrade. There's no reorganization. Companies spend millions of dollars on consultants to find and eliminate internal problems. If you never see any problem as an internal problem, you will never improve your business model. There is hella shit wrong with our business model. But if you say that there's hella shit wrong with the business model, the internal mechanism will point you out as the problem for identifying a problem. You're more of a problem if you identify a problem than the problem itself. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you need to stop eating junk food all the time. You the damn problem. You the reason why everybody dying out here. Because you stressing everybody out with your bullshit, talking about worried about what we eating. That's good enough. That's good enough. Now the person that tried to keep everybody alive by saying, hey, maybe you should throw some broccoli in there is outcast. Because he was causing, quote unquote, disturbance. 10 years later, everybody gets cancer. Why we got cancer? It must be because we was being targeted. Well, you was targetedly not listening to somebody that was trying to tell you to eat some healthy shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, how do you deal with that? Oh, we wish we had some guidance. You did. Somebody told people a long time ago buy just $1 of Bitcoin. That $1 would be $10,000 today. Most people don't even have $500 for an emergency. If you had bought $100, paid $100 back then, you'd have paid $100 for $10,000 today. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. No worries. You good. There's many people that are cowards and they're scared. They're scared to say, hey, this looks kind of dumb. Maybe people might want to reevaluate that. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. There's nothing to be scared of. You know what I'm saying? What people should be scared of is the failure to evolve. Because that failure to evolve is going to have people in a very bad place very soon. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton is talking about the money printer. Let's go there. What's the money printer going to do to the racial wealth gap? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, yep, the modern investor said people are priced out of buying 1,000 XRP. The future is looking rough. I want to understand how people don't trust Bitcoin because they can't see it, but do trust God and you can't see it. Somebody explain it to me. I don't trust Bitcoin because I can't see it. Wait a minute. Let me get on my knees and pray real quick. I don't understand that. I don't understand the logic there. It's the same type of stupid ass logic as I'll drive around on the street all day, but I'm scared to fly in an airplane, despite the fact that there's more car accidents daily than there are airplane accidents. I don't understand that shit. Somebody explain that stupid ass shit to me. There is a certain kind of brilliance associated with stupidity, because in many cases, people have a difficult time rationalizing the stupidity. That makes it a challenge. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't understand that shit, though. Somebody make that shit make sense to me, please. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton hit the button on me. This is the kind of stuff that makes people hate you. This is the kind of stuff that'll make me go down in YouTube history as a villain, which I don't care about, right? But then in 20, 30 years, people will act like they was listening to some shit that I was saying, because they'll see that the situation has become so dismal. Shout out to Intuitively Wise. Intuitively Wise says it takes longer to fall from the sky. I wouldn't disagree. I would not disagree with you. And this is what I'm saying. If people are consistent with their logic, it's very difficult for you to go wrong. Right? Now, again, we gotta bring up Neely Fuller Jr., right? Because that's what people always bring Neely Fuller Jr. up. And Neely Fuller Jr. always said that you should ask questions and use logic, right? That's what he said. But what you find is that asking questions and using logic are literally the things that repulse the people that they're supposed to help the most. So somebody explain that to me. Help your boy out. Shout out to y'all, man. If y'all haven't smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. Also, please share the stream to your social media. Now, how many people like the idea of a universal basic income? You like the idea of a universal basic income? Let me know.
A migration mess, with violence running rampant in the streets, like at the Fête de la Musique last month, where hundreds of young people were stabbed with syringes and property that alight.
Why was they stabbing people with syringes, y'all? I want you guys to understand there's white people in Spain who get on live streams and videos with YouTubers and people on Rumble, and these white people from Spain will sit there and talk about how quote unquote horrible Black Americans are. Now here go my question. All this stuff going on right here, where's some Black Americans doing that? But nobody says anything about that. Like, nobody says anything about that. That's never used as a talking point. That's my original talking point. And if anybody says that shit, just like everything else, they stole it, right? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, I think UBI will be less than needed. Will you get more if you have kids? Is there a cap? Those are great questions. We need to actually look into that. But the problem is, if we talk about some financial shit, bro, it's only going to be me, you, Brooklyn Queen, Carlton, John Guillory, you know what I'm saying? AB. Win, lose, or rug in the comment section. DC Precise, Black Free Thinker, you know what I'm saying? We know who all going to be there. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, I think those needles all allegedly have the package. Hey, yikes. Shout out to Karen. Karen said, I have 7 kids. I'll be balling. See if you can get your tax return in Satoshis, bro.
The fate de la Musique last month, where hundreds of young people were stabbed with syringes and property set alight. Online commentators were in shock with the footage, with this person's.
Look at that. Look at the, hey, you see that? Look at the American flag, not calling anybody a tether. This is France. This looks like Ghana, not France. What y'all think about that? With the proud American flag, just like everybody else be flying. Proud American flag, you know what I'm saying, with his Abraham Lincoln hat on. Looking like a white version of the dude from Sinners. You know what I'm saying? Got that vintage 1800, just got off a horse look. You know what I'm saying?
Saying, this is France. This looks like Ghana, not France. And 2 women were left injured and terrified after their car was surrounded and destroyed by rioters following the PSG Champions League victory.
That's crazy, man. Hey, that's crazy. Yeah, now mind you, this was said by a white person who's probably never been to Ghana in his entire life. Because somehow, you know, they all magically know what every square inch of Africa looks like. Shout out to AB. AB says Ghana is peaceful. There's no wars there. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said it's Ivory Coast and Cameroon who were the actual French army during World War II, because the W French got their asses kicked in 2 weeks by the mustache guy. He was out here kicking. He was out here kicking ass and taking names. They don't like talking about that shit. Hey, it sounds like they surviving a zombie attack, man. Sound like they about to get their brains ate out. Hey, how many Black Americans you think was part of that mob? Somebody let me know how many Black Americans y'all think was part of that mob. Throw a number in the chat. How many Black Americans was in this mob?
And terrified after their car was surrounded and destroyed by rioters following the PSG Champions League victory.
Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says 0. Cameron says 0. If you guys agree with Cameron and AB, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
In the UK, the situation is even more dire, with daily occurrences of violent bashings and stabbings by migrant groups on innocent local victims.
Hey man, like, is this like, what's up with this, man? Do you see all these, like, the street is full of people just all black? Like, what? Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said, I lived in Ghana for a year and I never heard a gunshot or heard of anyone getting stabbed. Well, you know, we got to bring a whole library full of evidence because a white person said that scene right there looked like Ghana. You know what I'm saying? That's what they said. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's what they said. So you know what happens if they said it? I mean, then it just is. It's let there be lightism, right? Let there be lightism. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's my question. This mob right here. Give me some numbers. How many Black Americans in this mob right here? Give me a good estimate. Good fair estimate.
9 knife crime is at an all-time high, with people being randomly targeted on the streets.
Now, knife crime is at an all-time high. All right, hold on real quick. Knife crime is at an all-time high. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. All right. Shout out to TD, because we all know TD provided this. Anti-violence advocates. Why not hold gun manufacturers accountable for mass shootings like River North tragedy? Now, how crazy does it sound saying we should hold knife manufacturers accountable for these knife stabbings? If we should hold knife manufacturers accountable somehow, quote unquote, for these quote unquote knife stabbings, give me a thumbs up. If we shouldn't, and that's just completely stupid, put a clown face in the chat.
Let's go. Let's go. Get the blade straight up and check it again. Let's go. Let's go.
Now here go my thing. How come the person, taking the video doesn't intervene and do anything to help? I don't, if you ask me, taking videos is cool, but it doesn't substitute helping someone.
Women's advocacy group Women's Safety Initiative is speaking up about the issue to raise awareness about the dire state of play in the UK at the moment.
The silent impact of mass migration on women's daily lives in the UK is a stark reminder of the point that we have got to in this country. A country that has chosen
feminism. Right? Feminism was and always has been women like this talking about every other man except for men like this. That's what feminism always has been. And yet and still you have these clowns that you got male feminists and, you know what I'm saying, like female feminists act like they banging for something noble.
multiculturalism over assimilation, ultimately leading to what we have now. Parallel communities with limited cross.
Now, facts. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said we equal, so go handle it. I mean, this is your Harriet Beecher Stowe right here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You know what I mean? Handle that.
Cultural understanding. Let's take a look at Borsley Green, one of the most dangerous areas you could possibly live in Birmingham, with 181 crimes per 1,000 residents, and a large portion of these crimes being of sexual and violent offences.
She hit him with the per capita. She's a per capita queen. She hit him with the per capita. You know, I find there's a lot of things that are just interesting to me. It's a lot of things that are interesting to me. A lot of things are interesting to me. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron said her father, husband, boyfriend should be protecting her. Yeah, if you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, I mean, big facts.
Now, let me make it clear. The demographic of this ward is significant. Less than 10% of this ward account for white British people. Violence and sexual offences.
There you go. And the thing that's crazy about this, you see this, you know what I'm saying? You see this global Karenization. And there's people that are confused that think that like these people are talking to and about them. They're not talking to and about you. They look at you like an employee. You get a good evaluation or a bad evaluation. People need to do their own thing. Shout out to AB. AB said a man cannot protect a woman who doesn't listen. A man shouldn't protect a woman that doesn't listen. Shouldn't even try. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get yourself hurt. You know what I'm saying?
lives in the UK is a stark reminder of the point that we have got to in this country. A country that has chosen multiculturalism over assimilation, ultimately leading to what we have now. Parallel communities with limited cross-cultural understanding. Let's take a look at Ballsy Green, one of the most dangerous areas you could possibly live in Birmingham, with 181 crimes per 1,000 residents, and a large portion of these crimes being of sexual and violent offences. Now, let me make it clear, the demographic of this ward is significant. Less than 10% of this ward account for white British people. Violence and sexual offences constitute the largest crime category in Ballsy Green, making up 50.3% of all crimes reported.
So I just want you guys to pay attention. The playbook is the same all over. So they per capita, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's fascinating to me how people want to hop on the pogo stick. It's just very strange. And it makes you wonder, do you not have the intelligence to come up with your own politics, to come up with your own talking points? We were talking about the term tether. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's really weird. Like, I think in 2025, in a weird way, a lot of people who don't qualify as her demographic are tethering onto their type of politics. But that's not usually the tether that's in question. Like I said, because most of the arguments that people are using nowadays, you know what I'm saying? You can go back in 2017, 2016 and find that shit on a QAnon board somewhere. You know what I'm saying? This idea of tethers and this idea of anchor babies. People were saying this shit on message boards back during the first Trump presidency. And these are the very people that question people and their motives in quote unquote proximity. Nothing puts you more proximate than using people's language. And nowadays, people talk in this language and they not like her. You know what I'm saying? Shit is just weird. You know what I'm saying? When she doesn't care about your safety. She is an individual that sees your natural existence as a threat to her existence if you're simply breathing. I don't know what do people not get about that? She's a female race simp. You know what I'm saying? They come in all different shapes and colors. She's doing a dick call. You know what I'm saying? Same way Umar, you know what I'm saying, do the cat calls. It's the same shit.
They're averaging at about 150 to 160 violent sexual offences committed every month.
And commentator Matt Goodwin agreed.
So a 24-year-old man has been brutally murdered on the streets of London, outside a luxury hotel, by another man who was allegedly trying to steal his watch. This is merely the latest horrific symbol of how out of control and horrific London has become. Just look at the stats. Shoplifting is up 54%, theft from the person is up 41%. 70,000 phones were stolen from people in this city last year alone. There's a rape every hour, sexual offences are through the roof, and it's not just the crime that bothers me. London has also become a symbol for liberal progressives of how they'd like to see the rest of the country. But do you really want the rest of the country to look like London? Hundreds of thousands of people who don't speak English, our national language, hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, hate marches on the streets of our capital city every week, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah hate marches.
And all of this stark evidence and footage of countries overrun by violence and division, yet their governments and leadership do absolutely nothing. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer seems to be more concerned about protecting the illegal migrants than protecting his own people.
Now this is interesting, right? And I'm curious, why is this happening simultaneously all around the world? And look at these governments who are doing this. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. You see this guy? Are these people selling their people and selling their nation into the possession of migrants? If they are, give me a thumbs up. If they're not, give me a thumbs down. these politicians are taking the taxpayer dollars and selling their people to the migrants. They're selling their own. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is something that has been thrown around about black people forever, but we're actively watching European countries do it to European people. And while all of this is going on, let's call everybody a tether instead of pointing this fragility out. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got people to call tethers. We ain't got time for this shit. You know what I'm saying? They're selling their own people. A talking point that's been used forever against us. Forget any of that though. Let's, you know what I'm saying? We got you know what I'm saying? We got tethers to break dance over. Like I just, to me, like I'm saying, like, you know, you take people out one by one if they causing issues, but you stay on the objective. And it seems to me like there's a very large portion of people that either knowingly or unknowingly suffer from some form of adult ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he looked like he living good. He eating good. You know what I'm saying? Look, he definitely looked like he eating good. He probably has like rotisserie cooked turkey every night. You know what I'm saying?
Reform UK Zia Yusuf slammed the Prime Minister for his incompetence on the issue.
It's all garbage. No one's listening, which is why his approval ratings have collapsed at historic speed. Look, there's north of 1.2 million people here in this country illegally already. They are crossing the channel illegally at record numbers, right? So things aren't not improving fast enough. They are getting demonstrably worse every single week. And the only way we're going to solve this problem, Mike, and restore a social contract that is hanging by a thread in this country is by deporting every single one of those 1.2 million people who are here. We need to be standing up enormous amounts of detention capacity. We need huge numbers of charter flights. We need return agreements with countries to take these people back. And if they don't take them back, we need to be doing things like stopping issuing visas altogether. We need to be scrapping the foreign aid.
And Starmer's latest humiliation. His deal with Emmanuel Macron of France over illegals, which commentators believe will have absolutely no impact on fixing the current issue.
As far as their main kind of policies go, one of them they bang on about because of that ridiculous and ludicrous summit Le Summit, as we call it here, between Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer. You know, they seem to think that finding some form of middle ground and finding an agreement.
Now, I want to ask you guys this question. If any of you all happen to move to the UK, how many of you all would be voting conservative? If you would vote for conservative, if you move to the UK, give me a thumbs up. If you wouldn't, give me a thumbs down.
On stopping the migrants is going to stop them. Well, it isn't. You know, they've now got the idea, Yvette Cooper has, that they're going to send some people back to Iraq. You know, I'll believe it when I see it. Nothing of they do works.
No one is going to go back to Iraq because even if they have a returns deal, the European Convention of Human Rights in its court will interfere and prevent that deal from being enacted.
And in a shock move, French reports indicate that France is now giving all Palestinians in Gaza the opportunity to apply for asylum.
Now, again, are they selling their people's country to these migrants? Are they giving away their people's country? So they're giving their people's country to foreigners. You know what I'm saying? How do you guys feel about that? Now, how come the people that people make great don't point that out? Is my question. I'm going to tell you why the people that people make great don't point that out. Because you can make people popular, but you can't make people great. You either great or you're not. And I'm great. Other motherfuckers is just popular.
This commentator revealed the news, saying a French court has ruled that all people from Gaza can apply for asylum in France. That is 2.1 million people that can come to Europe. Not only that, because of freedom of movement, they could potentially travel anywhere in the EU once inside France. Sounds like a bad idea. And whilst the leaders of Europe refuse to do anything, the people have taken things into their own hands to send a message that this will not be tolerated.
Now, here's my question, right? Because we keep hearing two conflicting stories. Are the people standing up, they standing on business and not tolerating this shit? or they getting their asses mollywopped and whooped? Which one? Because we're getting conflicting stories. Right? We're getting conflicting stories. So my question for you guys is which one is happening? Which one is happening? And real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
Spaniards have also had enough and are responding with violence.
All right, now I want you guys to understand this. Now, not saying that those criminal migrants there are in any type of right situation for doing the things that they're doing there, but I want you guys to understand the whole reason why they're doing this quote unquote black fatigue narrative is so that they can justifiably use you as a human punching bag and there be no discourse or repercussion for it. So people need to make sure that they have an appropriate means of defending themselves and an escape route if necessary. Because after you terminally defend yourself, as the world is today, you're going to be very popular in all the wrong ways. So you need to make sure that you got some quote unquote Belt and Road initiative, if that makes sense. All right. But again, instead of pointing that out, you have many people adopting these talking points as if they won't be the next one when there's nobody else around. I don't know what to say other than I'm being pushed to Bitcoin maximalism. I'm being pushed to Bitcoin maximalism. So we got more because we didn't get a chance to talk about Kathy Handout Hochul. We didn't get a chance to talk about a lot of stuff, but we did talk about a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, shout out to you guys because you guys are great. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys coming through. So, if y'all want to continue this conversation with some more, content tomorrow, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to the replay gang. If y'all want another stream tomorrow, let me know. All right. Shout out to the stream sponsors. I appreciate you guys. You guys keep the channel afloat. Make sure you guys show yourself some love because you are definitely valued and needed. I definitely appreciate you guys. Shout out to TD. I appreciate you, bro. Even though you stopped messing with your boy, you know what I'm saying? We still got nothing but love. That is, until we catch you in person, then we're going to have to, you know what I'm saying, give you quote unquote them birthday taps. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TD again. Make sure y'all show TD some love on the again side of the game. Again! Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Definitely appreciate Brooklyn Queen. My man Michael R in the building. Good to see you as always, bro. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. And shout out to Shatera. Like I said, hey, anytime anybody be like, you just got into Bitcoin, you a Trump supporter just because of Bitcoin. Man, Shatera, I tell you, man, I'm OG Bitcoiner, man. The hell out of here. Before they even had YouTube channels talking about Bitcoin, I was talking about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like back when Ivan on Tech had like 5,000 subs. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And as always, ladies and gentlemen,